Hey, good evening, football fans. Welcome into the Tiger Nation pregame show. Coach Razzle here with Coach Meyer, Adam Peterson, Aaron Meyer up in the booth, getting you ready for this Section 1 4A quarterfinal game. It's going to be the Stewartville Tigers taking on the Austin Packers. Austin coming in with a 1-7 record. Stewartville at 6-2. Coach, you look at this and, Austin coming in as the underdog, but let's talk about that Austin schedule first. They did get their first win. I think they broke an 18-game losing streak there against Worthington in week 3, won 14-13. But then you look at some of the teams. Fairmont's a good team. PEM had a good year. Pine Island undefeated. They won 48-0. Cannon Falls always tough to stop their offense. Zumbrota Mazeppa, I think, finished 6-2. So it's not just maybe Austin having struggles, but also some good teams that they played against.
Yeah, they getting that win against Worthington had to feel really, really good for the program, coming off a couple of winless seasons prior. I think at the beginning of the season, Austin elected to play down from the 4A schedule that would have been on their plate. So that's why they're playing some of the 3A and even a 2A team there with Cannon Falls. But with where their program's at, making a decision for their school and for their town and picking up the win had to feel pretty good. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a schedule where they didn't score a ton of points,
Yeah.
but maybe found some positives along the way,
On
especially early in the season.
Yeah, on the other side, Stewartville. If you think about Stewartville, we've watched every game you and I have. They're two plays away from being undefeated. You talk about getting stopped at the 1-inch line against Kasson-Mantorville. That would have been a go-ahead touchdown. And then the 39-yard touchdown pass to Bo Nicklay at the end of the Byron game. Those two plays, if they go in Stewartville's favor, we're looking at an 8-0 Stewartville, probably a bye this week, but coming in at 6-2.
Yeah, certainly disappointing when you think back at how close this team is to being undefeated. But at the same time, positive coach coming in, you get the chance to regroup after those plays, after those moments, after those losses. You get a chance to just kind of remind your guys that we got to continue to build and continue to work, and a lot of these guys that we're seeing this season were not necessarily the key parts to the back-to-back state title teams. Some of them were on the field and playing, but not in key roles. So besides Vince maybe and a couple others that Zeke and a couple others that we could highlight, but it just lets this crew build and kind of set their own feet and build their own path here, and I enjoy that. I think it's going to turn out to be a good thing in the end. It's hard to say that after the losses. I think we left here last week,
Oh,
a couple weeks ago, feeling so terrible, but I do think it'll be a positive in the end.
yeah, and looking at these playoffs, what you'll see is that Stewartville did get the 3 seed. Austin is the 6 seed. On the other side of the bracket, playing in Winona tonight is Faribault and Winona. Faribault coming in winless, so Winona obviously the favorite in that. Byron takes the number 1 seed. They'll face the winner, Winona Faribault. Stewartville Austin. This game here tonight will go to Kasson-Mantorville. That's on Saturday at 1 o'clock. When you talk, don't like to count our chickens before they hatch, but if we have an opportunity to play against Kasson-Mantorville, you're going to rematch that week 3 game that took place here. Really close game, but I think you and I can agree out of the 8 games that Stewartville played this year, I think that was probably the one that they weren't their best. I would say is probably the worst game that I've seen them play, just because they also put on some great performances this season.
Right.
But give credit to Kasson-Mantorville as well. Great defense. Their offense is tough to stop if you're not disciplined. A lot of new guys that we had on our defense there in week 3. 18 of 22 starters for our team are new this year from last year's state championship team. So if we can make it to Kasson-Mantorville, there are definitely some things that we need to tighten up. That's Saturday, 1 o'clock at their house.
Yeah, I think the coaches, certainly talking to Coach Hain after that game, he's obviously in the English department with me, so I get to visit with him the most. And after that Caston game, I just remember how just kind of disappointed he was, not necessarily in the players, but just that the scheme that he had implemented didn't shut Caston down like he had expected it to. And after a few adjustments, I think they got to the point where they felt pretty good about what they were doing. But some of the matchups, I think, were maybe just a little different than our coaches suspected. Just seeing some of those athletes that Casson was able to put on the field against us were maybe a little bit better than we first suspected. So
speaking of Kasson-Mantorville, we talked about the passing game those first 2 weeks. I think we had 112 yards total, just not really Stewartville ball. Vince Well at Kasson-Mantorville, that's when he started to seem to hit his stride. I'm sure it took some time to get used to those new wide receivers. You talk about week 3 against Kasson-Mantorville, 10 to 22, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. Winona, week 4, a perfect 14 to 14, 157 yards, 1 touchdown. Week 5, Simley, probably his best game of the season. That was homecoming, 17 to 21, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns. Vince Wellick, you just see him 65% completion percentage, 12 touchdowns to only 1 interception. I did the math today. I think that puts him at like 46 or 48 touchdowns to only like 5 or 6 interceptions. So really does a good job of taking care of the ball. What have you seen from quarterback Vince Wellick, the senior?
Well, first off, the improvement week by week. You mentioned it, but in the first couple weeks of the season, we were kind of discussing like we got to get a passing game going at some point. We got to build and have more than just the running game. And it was the same way last year. If you remember, I still remember the game when Pine Island came to town last year.
Oh yeah.
And we had some overthrows in the end zone and just things were not firing with the passing game. But with Vince's just determination, and he's got great fundamentals. Coach Muller works with him so well, and Vince accepts the coaching and listens, and he knows where to go with the football. And gosh, just to see how he's turned things around. And I don't even want to say turned around, but just continued to trust the process and get to the point where when you put this graphic up here and I saw 12 touchdowns and 1 interception, all I could think about was the beginning of the season when he didn't have these stats. And now look at where we're at here, in the playoffs. It's awesome. And he's just such a good kid to boot. It just makes it a lot of fun to root for a kid like Vince.
Absolutely. Great kid. We always talk about that. The easiest athletes to cheer for are the ones that are also good kids. Last week added 3 touchdowns to that total against Delano, 11 of 16, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. We talk about coming into this part of the season, Coach, especially with the cold weather, the rain, you got to run the ball. You got to be able to run the ball. And Malik Sweet Feet Abdi has been impressive this year. 151 carries, 851 yards, 16 touchdowns. Also been catching the ball out of the backfield a little bit. Malik, fun to watch. You talk about some of his premier performances. You got to talk about week number 2, Totino Grays, 38 carries, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns in that narrow victory. Through the first 2 weeks, he actually had 62 carries, 410 yards, 3 touchdowns. So came on really fast to start the season, almost half of the yards for the season. I think you'll see him start to get going. He and Simon Emanuel there in the backfield. It's important in playoffs.
Well, and Malik does it in a lot of different ways. I guess the thing that's impressed me the most this year is when he goes for the tough yards. I've seen the long gains, the sweet cuts, the spin moves, the jutting in and out. He does that so well. But for a kid like Malik, who's just a speedster, to see him getting the tough yards is where I just kind of get excited, because it just means he's willing to go get that touchdown at the end of the Byron game, or put his head down and get a first down when it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. So just a great running back. The stats show it, but I like to just highlight his toughness and his willingness to go get the tough yards when they're needed. And we're certainly going to need that. Tonight, I think you're going to see some big runs out of Malik. Just kind of watching some film, it looks like there's going to be some opportunities for him to show off his speed. Again, not putting the cart in front of the horse, but if there's a chance for a game on Saturday, that's where I think some of those tough yards that I bring up will become very, very important.
Yeah, our other running back, Simon Emanuel, boy, is he splashed onto the scene, taking over. We had Dylan Scanlon, Malik Abdi. You see how many times we love the 2-headed monsters. Well, Simon Emanuel has done a good job, especially the last few weeks, coming in and spelling Malik Abdi. 56 carries, 353 yards, 6.3 yards per carry, 7 total touchdowns. But where I've been almost even more impressed is him on defense, stepping in there, making some big tackles, 28 tackles. And really, he's only come on defense the last 3 or 4 weeks. So Simon Emanuel, huge, integral part to this team.
Yeah, he's big, physical, fast, and he just really he loves football. So he's the type of guy that shows up on both sides of the ball. You could probably play him on defense in several different positions. I bet he could play a defensive end. He's obviously awesome at linebacker, but I think you could put him back at safety and he'd still show up around the ball an awful lot. So sometimes you just gotta. Some of these kids are just such good football players in general, and I think Simon fits into that bin.
Yeah, Brody Buckmeyer's the next guy we'll talk about. Probably Vince Wellick's one of his two favorite targets. 21 catches, 265 yards, 12.6 yards per catch, and only one touchdown. Unfortunately, not getting in the end zone, but man, he has made some big catches, especially like on third downs where we need him to get to the sticks, come back to the ball. I'm trying to think of what game it was on the road, if it was against Winona, but there was like a 3rd and 17 where Vinny had to roll out to his right. Buckmeyer made a really tough catch on the sideline, but he's been the kind of the insurance policy, the go-to guy when we need it, Brody Buckmeyer.
Yeah, I have brought it up on several broadcasts, but I get kind of excited when we talk about Brody because he was on JV last year, and I've probably brought that up too often, but I just find it to be amazing that he has continued to work and again trust the coaches and do everything that he's asked. Every workout, every Wednesday morning in the spring when they're throwing footballs, he's one of the first ones down there, and the kid just does everything you ask. And so for him to find the success that he has found this year, it just kind of brings me joy. And again, you're talking about just a good kid who smiles and spreads positivity to his teammates, and it's awesome when players like this find the success that we all hope for him to find.
Absolutely. The other top target for Vince Wellick, Mickey Height. He's a guy that I know I have the stats up there: 25 catches, 270 yards, 4 touchdowns. Also fantastic on defense. I mean, for a while there, every interception he had went back for a touchdown. But really, what I want to give a shout out to, Peyton English, Zeke Spencer, those guys, the lead blocking that they have on that edge. Sometimes we run that tight trips, but Mickey Height has turned more than a few defenders into snowballs, rolling them over. And I'd love to see him coming around the corner with Malik right behind him, Mickey Height.
Yeah, another kid that just loves football and could probably play multiple positions, but an unsung hero, like you said, with the lead blocking and catching the little screen passes here and there. But he also has a knack for big plays.
Yeah.
I just think back to the bank when
he
did the
DGF, I think it was semifinal.
And
huge.
I think he kind of got lost on the a certain play, and just talked to him about it at halftime, and comes out and does the pick six. And so he just kind of has a knack for those big plays when they're needed. Just a gamer, a baller, and just a fun kid to watch play football.
You want to talk about a fun kid to watch play football? Probably not a fun guy to get tackled by. Zeke the Freak Spencer, 42 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, an interception, first play of the game. I mean, the last 2 times I think we've watched him, so Simley and Byron, the very first play of the game for our defense, interception against Simley on homecoming, forced fumble. He did that old lawnmower cord pull that we've been talking about, or chainsaw or whatever, pulled it out, huge. He makes big plays, but he also delivers big hits. Love watching Zeke Spencer out there.
And he's kind of the heartbeat of the defense. You can see when he's amped up, so is everybody else. So it just takes a guy like Zeke to to bring the heat when it's time. And just, again, the kid loves being out there and being physical. In the past couple of years, watching him on kickoff team was one of my favorite things to do. I'm actually super happy he's not on kickoff this year, simply because we need him in so many different aspects with him moving to tight end. Just a kid that only knows one way to play, and that is full speed. All out, all heart. Just, he's going to give you everything he's got on every play.
He's willing to injure himself to make a big hit, which is sometimes scary. You want to pull the reins back. Another guy that goes out there with the hit stick, old Peyton English. He's really stepped up last year as a sophomore. Coach Muller said, watch out for this guy. He's a football player. He is a football player. 37 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery. Also 12 catches out of the backfield, 137 yards, and a touchdown. We've also seen him carry the ball in the Wildcat situations. That's been big for us. So a lot of fun watching Peyton English as well here in his junior year.
Yeah, just you mentioned strong kid. And I think his 12, his rushing yards, wait till next year, everybody. You're going to just see a whole different version of Peyton English, that he just, because of having some quality running backs in front of him, he doesn't get to showcase his talent as much running the ball. But I can promise you, we're going to be calling his name next year, running into the end zone quite a bit with that ball tucked under his arm.
Yeah, so what you're gonna hear in the background probably on our microphones is the Stewartville football team will be making their way to the field. Coach Meyer and I will step aside just for a minute or two. We'll get those pre-game videos that everybody loves to watch. We'll get those queued up, and then we'll be back in just a few minutes to bring you this Section 1 4A quarterfinal game between the Stewartville Tigers and the Austin Packers. Thanks for tuning in to Stewartville Activities on YouTube. We'll be right back.
He has 10 different things that he's going to look at first quarter here, and off of those 10 things, he's going to figure out what the next
And off
what the
to
next move
Sikic,
is.
off the left side. Is he going to break this? Oh, speed beats pursuit angles every day of the week, and you just saw Sikic.
Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we're trying
Test,
to
1, 2,
figure
3.
it out. Yep.
Like it bounces here, Coach. I don't know why it's not going through though.
Test,
test. Oh, 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Goes.
All right. Sorry about that. Thanks to everybody that texted and got us on track here. Apologies. Big time apologies.
There was probably a couple people that were happy that we weren't talking for one drive.
So, Coach, I didn't even see who scored trying to work on that.
Malik punched it in after about 4 or 5 plays there, just manipulating the ball down the field, using the outside, and finally punched it in the middle. Extra point was good. For those people that don't know, Adam is doing 100 things at once while he's calling the game. It's one of the most magnificent things that I've seen. It's fascinating to see all the things that he has going on at once. So,
well, thanks, Coach, because usually the complaints come through. And the thing is I have no tech experience. I mean, Dan was the one that was the brains of the operation. I just showed up with all my note cards and trying to take that over and learn this new system this season. That right there, I had no idea. I was just essentially starting to push buttons. And luckily, it was actually a computer issue, not a software issue. It was trying to output through a different microphone. So now we got it set, and you get to hear the heavenly voice of Aaron Meyer with me, Adam Peterson. We're up here in the Dan Simmons broadcast booth. Stewartville, Austin, Section 1, 4A quarterfinal matchup. In the backfield for Austin, Eli Arndt is their quarterback. We've been seeing a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. They hand that ball up middle, and Carson Jansen, I believe, is the one to stop him. I know Zeke Spencer's there to help him out.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what Austin. We saw Stewartville was attacking the perimeter with their first offensive series. It'll be interesting to see what Austin tries in terms of finding a weakness for Stewartville's defense early on. I've always found this to be you get to script your first 10 plays roughly, and so I always kind of find it interesting to see what the coaching staff decides that they want to attack or what they want to get a look at early on.
In the backfield, Keon Adams, he's a junior. He's standing behind Arndt, the quarterback. They got 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Arndt's going to throw this one out to the flat, and just a little bit short. I believe Lucas House was right there on the coverage as well. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 10, 9:24 to go in the first quarter. Again, thanks for bearing with us there with the technical difficulties. Talking about pulling double duty, Aaron Meyer color commentating and camera tonight.
Not as easy as I thought it was going to be, as I like to watch the game through the window. We'll see if I can see anything through the little camera here, but...
So tight trips to the right. Got Carter on the near side. Adams in the backfield with Arndt. They're going to throw a similar pass, almost picked off there by Nolan Light. And it's going to be 4th down and 10 as the Gold Rush doesn't allow a single yard on their first drive from the defensive side.
That'll probably be their goal for the entire night, is to see if they can hold Austin to as few yards as possible. That's kind of a dumb statement, as they always are feeling that way. But I do have a hunch that Coach Hain has little goals set for these guys early on to get off the field early and often.
Matthew Felton back to punt for Austin.
Got a little movement there.
They'll move him back 5 yards. Robert Lillis is going to be the long snapper. Try to put it on Felton's hands and get it off quick. Sometimes Stewartville's known to bring pressure, especially when they're in Austin's side of the field, or the opposing team's side of the field. Here they come. Almost got there, Colin McGill. Carson Rader's going to be receiving this one. He picks it up off one bounce. He's coming to the near side, Stewartville sideline. And number 5 for Austin, Lucas Jorgensen makes the tackle. Jorgensen also a running back for the Packers. So you'll see him and Keon Adams in the backfield. It will be Stewartville's second drive, the first one that you'll hear us from, though.
Yeah. The one thing I want to point out with that punt return is since we've started doing this together, our punt returners have been so courageous and just good at catching the ball off the bounce or making good decisions back there. Karsten Rader continues a tradition of Owen Sickink, of Dylan Hoot. It's not as easy as it seems, and these guys continue to make good decisions and pick up as many yards as they can, trying to swing the field position and get the offensive started as near the end zone as they can. Mickey Height in motion here. Vince Wellick looks left.
Vinny going to take off and run, huh, Coach?
Scrambles for about 5-6 yards. Took what he could get. Pretty good coverage there by the Austin secondary.
All right, getting all squared away. 9:04, Vince Wellick in the backfield. Abdi next to him. He's got 3 to the far side. It's English, Height, and Spencer on the near side. I believe this is Buckmeyer. He sends Abdi over there, so now he's got 4 to the far side. Wellick's going to throw a quick one out there to Mickey Height. Just trying to use that block, and Austin's able to take him down at the 48-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and, 4, Coach?
Yeah, and I think Austin's going to feel real good about just the last couple plays in particular, the secondary holding up nicely, and then to see them rallying to the ball and making the tackle on that last play. It's going to make the coaching staff feel pretty good about slowing Stewartville down here and getting to a 3rd down.
So Wellick going to try to pick this up, as they do often, that pre-snap shift, and then sometimes you'll even see a motion with it. So we got 3 to the near side. I bet Abdi's coming around on a stretch play. He is. He's following the big boys. Tommy Lofgren, good seal block. You got Mickey Height and Peyton English out there. And Malik's still on his feet. Oh, big block by Height. And that's going to spring Sweet Feet. He always stops a little stutter step. As smooth as Michael Jackson's shoes, he moonwalks his way into the end zone for the 2nd touchdown tonight. Wow.
And we saw a lot of good blocking on that particular play. We saw it from the bunch receivers that were that shifted into position that you mentioned, and then downfield after Malik was able to stay on his feet, we saw Mickey Height just decleat the Austin cornerback that was trying desperately to slow Malik down there at the end.
Yeah, Lofgren did a good job of sealing. Mickey Height or Malik Abdi went off, and then all of a sudden Peyton English and Mickey Height are out there saying, "Hey, follow us. We got a little alley you can run by." And then that guy comes full speed to the pylon, and Malik just stopped, let him run by, went into the end zone nice and smooth.
Well, there's probably not 2 better guys that you'd rather run behind. We talked about him in the pregame, but with Peyton English and Mickey Height out in front of you, that's pretty good sailing there.
Before it gets too late, I got to give a shout out to the Ferry family if they're watching, Adam and JC, but you also got Taylor, Owen, and then my little buddy Lennon. Hopefully you're not in bed already. Sorry about the audio difficulties, but wanted to give my girl Len, one of the best huggers around, also my fruity partner for parade candy. She always saves me a few, so I want to give her a shout out. Always appreciate everybody texting, saying they're watching. You probably got some young ones at home watching too, Coach.
Yeah, the girls decided to stay home tonight with a school night, so it could have been the temperature.
Could have been
the school day. I don't know, but
they told me I'm their 2nd favorite Tiger Nation broadcaster.
Okay.
Behind Aaron Meyer. Rory Swanson, did you see that extra point? He maybe cleared the crossbar by about 2 inches.
The best part is it's like a swinging bunt where it goes in the stat book as a hit, and for Rory that goes in the stat book as a made extra point.
Still counts.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yep. He could have put it over the fence. It wouldn't have mattered.
Exactly.
That one's fielded right at about the 25-yard line. Oh, Marshall Dick with the big hit there on the near sideline. You always love doing that in front of your teammates. Special teams a lot of times sets the tone for Stewartville, and if you can make a big hit right in front of your boys, it's got to feel good.
Yeah, and for Marshall, he gets to return a kickoff early, and now he gets to make the tackle on a kickoff. So showing his special teams prowess here early on.
You're starting to see some of the depth come out here for Stewartville. Colin McGill is out there at wide receiver. So is Brett Miller, a fantastic athlete. We saw him, break onto the scene against Simley. He had that interception in the end zone, ran it back about 50 yards. He also had the big run against, was it Faribault? He almost got inside the pylon. But we're seeing them kind of work out there. Oh, Cody Carlin drops him for a loss. Oh, did he fumble it? Zeke was going to scoop and score. So I said McGill is back. I was looking at Miller, but McGill is out there at safety with him. Simon Emanuel playing that linebacker position. You also got Buckmeyer here on the near side for cornerback. Nolan Light on the far side. Our big boys up front, Carson Jansen, Eli Shai, Cody Carlin, and Quinn Potts. Quinn Potts, fantastic up front. Probably our most prolific big cat, the only returning starter on the front line. Arndt's pointing out the linebacker setup. He's going to look to throw a quick pitch. Oh, Buckmeyer caught it, and now he's off to the races. His second pick six of the season. What a senior year for Brody Buckmeyer.
And just sitting on the little hitch route, he puts his foot in the ground, accelerates forward, and the ball literally comes right to him. And Brody knew what to do with it once he got his hands on it, and that was to go cash it into the end zone. That's fun as a senior when you get a chance to, your last home game of your football career, you get a pick six. That's big time.
Hey, at least we know instant replay's back to working. We got all sorts of kinks trying to work them out here. And we're only 4 minutes and 45 seconds into this game. It's already 20-0.
Yeah.
I think what you're going to see if Coach Muller can try to extend the lead and get some of the backups in, let his starters take a break, as Stewartville would have to play, 4 days from now? They're going to move it back.
Well, I would imagine that the entire coaching staff has had a discussion about how this game is going to play out. What are they going to do in certain situations if it gets ugly? Who's going in, who's not. The B squad, which was a combination of our C squad and some of the JV guys, played against John Marshall last night. So some of these guys might not be ready to play another football game the next night. But
Rory Swanson! Oh, that was pretty. Not as pretty as his onside kick a couple weeks ago, Coach.
True. Yeah.
Have you seen him since that onside kick?
I have not.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, did you give him a hug?
I will get to see him Thursday, I believe, is when he'll be in my classroom.
First thing, if I ever see that kid, I'm going to shake his hand and say, thank you. Thank you, Rory.
Yeah.
Another shout-out I want to give down in Delavan, Wisconsin. Peg Riley there. Probably watching the broadcast with Mary and Blaine Peterson, two big fans of the Tiger Nation broadcast. And Peg Riley, if you know her, I tell you, my Christmas Village partner, one of the best chocolate pretzel makers out there, also took care of my best friend, had some heart issues back in the day, so just want to say appreciate all she's done for our family and continuing to support all of us, all the grandkids. I think there's 13 of them. So thanks for all you do, and hopefully you get to bed soon. We'll put you to bed by halftime here if Stewartville keeps going this way. 21 points in the first 4.5 minutes. Rory Swanson, what a beautiful, and he got moved back, Coach. He got moved back.
That's true.
He's getting better and better.
He is. Well, we've seen constant improvement, and what a luxury to just know that it's an option for the rest of the season, however long that might be, to be able to kick those extra points, and should we need it, even a field goal perhaps, just a good option to have.
You're seeing with the wind that we're having to hold it. Owen Johnson, speaking of grandmas that are big fans of the show, Owen Johnson's grandma always listened, Lisa's mom, I believe. Did he just slip? I believe he did. That was Felton. Slip trying to catch it, goes down, but still with the short kickoff. Not terrible field position. He's going to be close to the 30. I don't know where they're marking him, actually. 25, maybe? You always put it on the line, Coach, so we know where a first down is. Always put it on the line.
Make it easy.
Oh, he's still backing up. 24, we're going to say. So this is where you talk about, Coach, just stacking stuff together. First, let's get some positive yardage. Let's get a first down, maybe get across midfield, and then worry about scoring. Just building blocks.
Yeah, sometimes football teams, players, even coaches, we start to get so focused on the scoreboard. And you got to remember that it's one play at a time, and it's a hard thing to focus on. But just finding some positive yards right now would be a huge plus.
Arndt's going to throw this one. Carson Jansen following him. He throws it over to the 40-yard line. Not many receivers. I'll say that Lathan Stenzel was probably the intended target. Hadn't quite hit his out-breaking point. Is that a big piece of turf there? Do you see right at the 30-yard? Oh, somebody's going to. They have to stomp it back in. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that
so
really came
I want
up.
to point out, and I know it's probably not going to show up, but the track got painted this
Oh,
week, so
that's
I am
right.
so excited.
We can get that on the next time out or whatever.
Yeah, but I got to come out. Josh Lake called me up and said, "Hey, you want to come see the track?" So we took a walk around the track, and I just got to see how beautiful the facility looks now that it's getting to the finishing stages. But the track is painted. Everything looks so nice. But my point is, after our little trip around the track, I asked Josh about the field conditions, and he said, well, there's a couple spots that are getting a little dicey and just need some rest. So it was kind of getting down to the end of the summer.
Yeah.
And they were needing to kind of get this project done, and I think the field does need a little bit of rest at this point.
Yeah, and he'll get it after this game. That was a great pass from Arndt to Dax Boverhouse. That picked up that first down, and now they're starting to put it together, Coach. It looks like they're going to try to go through the air. Probably a smart move when you see our run defense either last week and then again against Byron, against probably one of the top running backs in the entire state the week before. I think we only gave up like 120 rush yards. So it looks like Austin will try to go through the air. 2 wide receivers on each side. Arndt's going to look to the middle of the field. He steps up in the pocket, but there's Quinn Potts to drag him down for a sack for the Gold Rush as Potts drops him for a 5-yard loss. Now it'll be 2nd and 15.
And we saw it on the last play, and certainly throughout the film that I watched. Arndt throws a good ball, and with some just basic route concepts, they got opportunities to get yards. Stewartville does have a pretty solid secondary. We saw Buckmeyer with a pick 6 early on. We've seen Nolan Light make several interceptions throughout the season. So it might be hard to throw, but I do think that's their best option versus trying to run up the middle.
It looks like Arndt went down, which their quarterback, I don't know who the backup is. It looks like number 28, Matthew Felton, is coming in, but I don't know if they're going to switch like running back to quarterback or how they're going to do this, or maybe Felton will just take over. We're going to find out. Hopefully Arndt's okay. Probably got twisted up. There were a lot of guys kind of wrapped around him. This is always tough. This is one thing you worry about, regardless of which team you are. The playoffs, in terms of injuries, especially if you move on to the next round, it's something that everybody's aware of, and you don't want anybody going down, but especially if you are trying to look to make a playoff run. And Arndt's able to get up and walk off on his own power, luckily. Hey, big shout out to Kyle Schrader down there.
Yep.
He's been,
years.
I was going to say, how long has he been a manager? He usually tells me and comes up and finds me, but I was working on setting up all the wiring, so I didn't see him today. But
I know at one point Kyle had been keeping his own personal record as a water boy.
There he is.
Got the big
Got a wave.
Yeah.
So actually, it looks like Keon Adams is going to take the snap and almost like a wildcat, and he's got the Gold Rush coming on hard, and he's going to get dropped for a loss all the way back to the 25.
And this is where things always get a little dicey when you got a backup QB coming in. Even catching the shotgun snap becomes, an adventure. There's probably a pretty good chance that playing on a Tuesday, he's probably taken very few reps at QB. It looks like Arndt's coming back here. That's nice.
You hope he just got the wind knocked out of him, but for Austin, not a lot of guys on their sideline. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe 11 extra guys over there. While Stewartville needs about 3 buses to carry all their guys. So Felton's actually going to be in the shotgun. Keon Adams is behind him. Oh, Keon Adams turns. Are they going to call it? Yeah, I think the refs were questioning. Is he going to continue to go in motion or is he not? It's going to be 5 yards. Another 5 yards as it'll be 3rd down and a mile. 4:51 to go in the first quarter. They have some good-sized guys up front. That Terrell Brown, number 77, he's a good size. 68, Elton Valiute. Aiden Sion, 74.
So Stewartville just has to keep the fundamentals. This gets to be the point where, you're trying to do a hero play. You're trying to show off, and it's just kind of a temptation as a player. But just do the little things right. Treat it like a Tuesday that you would during the week. It's a hard thing to do, but these guys got to keep playing hard.
He's going to drop back, and boy, he's got all pressure up the middle. A quick hitch there on the right side. Oh, Nolan Light! Big tackle over there in the open field. Just a single leg takedown. Maybe Coach Heath Bakken watching and says, hey, come out for wrestling.
Yeah.
Ramsey Miller's down there. He's a wrestling coach.
You can recruit him right there.
He's done that several times. Nolan Light. You talk about a guy stepping up in his senior year. We talked about Brody Buckmeyer. Yeah. Nolan Light, another guy. 2 interceptions in week number 1. Has had a couple fly routes where he got hit on a dime drop by Vince Wellick for touchdowns.
We've talked about his raw speed, but he just does a lot of other things really well. Look at
Colin
that.
McGill blocked it. It's way up in the air, and that one goes all the way out of bounds. What's the rule on that?
I think it's a safety.
Boy, Colin McGill blocked that thing. It went 30 yards in the air. There comes the official call. Coach Muller was explaining the play clock to me, 40 and 25. Still don't understand it.
Yeah.
So I still don't understand it. I think he said if it's a continued, like the clock is still rolling, it's 40.
Sure.
But if it's a stoppage of play, when they blow it, it's 25. Okay. I'm going to just rely on watching the back judge start pumping his arm.
Huh.
A touchback? Everybody on our sideline saying that should be a safety.
Not a touchback.
And how would it be a touchback for their team?
Right.
Like they're saying that 20. Unless he's
going to correct himself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Boy, our coaches were right on that.
Yeah.
As were you, Coach. It's like you've been down there to win 2 straight section championships for us back in 2014, 2015, back-to-back Final Four appearances. The only 2 years we didn't get to play at U.S. Bank Stadium in the semifinals.
True.
Well, because they were constructing it, weren't they? Or it was a Metrodome.
It was being built at the time. I was talking to my speech classes this week about listening, basically a listening unit, but we were talking about all the sounds that we like. I was bringing up hockey, and I like the sound of a hockey arena and things like that. But one of my all-time favorite sounds is a blocked punt. It's like a thump bump because it's the ball thumping off the punter's foot, but immediately after it's the ball hitting Colin McGill's hands in this case. And I just have always loved that sound. It doesn't happen often, but as a coach, when you get it to happen for your team, it just gives me chills. I love it.
McGill is going to take that one. He's going to try to be rewarded after he just put the block down. And now he finds a hole. Malik Abdi's blocking for him. Is McGill going to get by? What a return. All the way down to the 23. They say, hey, Colin, you blocked that one. You deserve to have the ball in your hand. See what you can do. And he put some electricity into Schaefer Field here as he returned it about 50 yards. That was a dynamite punt there by Felton.
It really was. Yeah, he got all of it. And McGill just found a seam and showed off his speed right there. Another very fast player that we have.
Kyle does everything for us. Somebody's paperwork flying all over. He gets it all before. Woo! Everybody's cheering for him. Love it. Wellick still at quarterback for the time being. 23-0. You wonder if they'll take a shot here to the end zone. Coach Muller loves to do that. Here comes Emmanuel on motion. They're going to hand it off to him on a counter, and you might not need a big pass with Emmanuel running it like that. I think he picks up about 15, and it's going to be 1st down and goal.
And if you're the Austin team, this is where it just starts to get to be just a defeating feeling when everything seems to be going against you, and the Stewartville team can just run counter like that for 15, 20 yards so easily. It just starts to build up, and it's hard. It's hard when you're in that situation, and hats off to these guys for being here and fighting, but it's going to be a long night if this continues.
Buckmeyer and English on the near side, Carlin and and Light on the far side. Fake to Simon Emmanuel. He rolls out. Nolan Light! Beautiful pass there by Vinny.
Just a great bootleg. Rolls out. Puts it right on the fingertips.
See if I catch it. Yeah.
Yeah, great pass. Great catch. Good route.
You're talking about Nolan Light. He's now got 4 catches on the year, 3 of them for touchdowns. Tell me Vince Wellick doesn't look for him in the end zone.
Yeah.
And this is going for a 30-point lead just 8 minutes into the game. We'll see if Swanson can deliver one more time. Cheddar is the holder. I believe Spencer is snapping for us. Beautiful snap. Good hold. It's going a little left, and that one's going to curve. We'll say it was the wind, not Swanson. 29-0 Tigers. 3:41 to go in the first.
You mentioned the wind, and I know you were doing 100 things trying to get ready for the game to start, but I have never seen the wind blow so hard in the national anthem to the point where whichever Legion member was holding on to the American flag nearly tipped over.
Getting a workout,
had to brace himself. I think it might have been Dean Raymaker, but I just have such poor vision. But yeah, it was really, really blowing during the national anthem, and it does look like the trees have calmed down a little bit. But
yeah, you look at that flag over here in the end zone, and it is just whipping towards the school. So on your screen, the wind would be blowing right to left, very hard. So unfortunately for Swanson kicking this one, if it is Swanson, yeah, he's got to kick it right into a 30-mile-an-hour headwind. All meteorology reports up here are unofficial. I don't know if it's actually 30 miles an hour. Chilly night, though. What, 45 degrees about in my car when I stepped out there around 5:30?
Minnesota playoff football weather. It seems to always turn into this at this time of the year.
So Owen Johnson being a friend, helping a friend. Swanson's going to kick that one. Fielded by Nianaman. Nianian. Michael Nianian. I did a bad job with this roster. I should have put the first names first, and I guess it's not fully updated because we had to cross out a lot of names, Coach. A lot of names on this roster.
Yeah.
Apologies to the Austin crowd. Did not get any pronunciations nor stats, so a little tougher to cover your team. We'll see if they can put something together here. They got a first down that last drive, but then a couple sacks and penalties moved them back. You see Matthew Felton still at the quarterback position. Arndt has not come back in yet. 3 wide receivers to the far side. Tyler Carter to the near side. Hands that one off to Keon Adams. Oh, Mickey Height! Delivers the hit. Watch him come off the edge and just square up Adams here on the replay. You see Mickey Height walking up, coming in easy.
A pretty good job of disguising his blitz and really untouched. Free run at the ball carrier.
Second down and 12 after that tackle for a loss by Mickey Height. Height, 24 tackles on the year. That would be his second tackle for a loss. He also has 2 sacks. Seems like Coach Hain does a really good job of timing those blitzes, sending them from different areas. They're going to pass this one. Here comes Nolan Light from a cornerback blitz. Boy, Nolan Light was going to measure him up there.
And Coach Hain's into his bag, and you'd probably have to go back and watch it, but I'm pretty sure on the last third down play, Coach Hain sent the old zone dog blitz where he drops all the defensive linemen and sends all the linebackers, which is a lot of fun for the players. The D linemen start to think they're going to
Hey, if you get the ball in Lofgren's hands, I don't know. He might take it to the house.
That's true. He is a fast fast kid for how big he is. But, yeah, it's always fun when a defensive coordinator gets to dial some of that stuff up that they've been working on.
Felton and Adams in the backfield, 3 wide receivers to the right side. Felton's going to launch that one over the middle. Picked off by Zeke Spencer. No, he ran into Simon Emanuel and dropped it. Never bad to have multiple guys there converging on the ball.
Yeah, a little friendly fire there. But, again, Coach Haynes going to be so proud that he had a player behind running, trailing the route, and then one right over the top. That's just great coverage by the Stewartville Tigers.
McGill is going to return this one. Karsten Rader might have the rest of the night off. Pete Cheddar over here on the gunner. We'll see if they send in for a block. No, they're going to. He's got a heck of a leg. Oh my gosh, it's going to bounce all the way to the 15. Is McGill going to pick it up? Yeah, he does. Oh no, probably a block in the back there. And so this is all going to go for naught. It's going to come back. The block in the back was right around the 15-yard line. That'll be half the distance to the goal. I would imagine Stewartville will start around their 8-yard line.
So the Stewartville offense will get a chance to run, a few plays here. I would imagine they'll get a chance to get that number 1 offense out there one more time
here.
Yeah,
I see Vince is walking out there. He's got height. He's got Abdi. He's got all the big cats that we're used to. You talk about those big cats. Carson Jansen there at right tackle. You got Billings at center. Lofgren and Goodman at your guard positions. Then big Quinn Potts protecting Vinny's blind side. For wide receivers, see Buckmeyer's out there. And then they got the 3 big blockers, Zeke, English, and Height, and Malik Abdi's just licking his chops right now saying, give me the ball, and run it to the wide side of the field.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I mentioned this previously, but I do have a hunch. I didn't talk to any of the coaches asking this question, but I have a hunch these players probably have a good idea of what's their play count going to be.
Here comes a jet sweep to Malik Abdi. I'm calling it.
Right.
Jet sweep to the far. Oh, no, it's going to be a little pitch back to Mickey Height. And Peyton English is measuring some guy up. He's driving him. Good job of using the sideline there by Austin. But Height gets all the way down to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 27. There is a flag on the field. Personal foul. Horse collar. So we'll get another 15. They fake the jet sweep, and they love to run Mickey Height there. They used to do that with Parker Wangen quite a bit the last couple of years.
Little inside shovel pass. It essentially ends up being a counter play. But when you get the eyes and even a false step by the linebackers going one direction and then come back the other direction, it's a very nice play that Coach Muller and his staff have perfected quite nicely over the years.
Snap to Vince Wellick. He's going to hand it off to Abdi off the left side. He's got Goodman out there leading the way. Oh, he just drilled somebody. And Abdi picks up 13. And Austin's got another injury on the field. Like I said, the depth isn't what they are hoping for on their sideline. 32 is the down player. That's Calvin Bambrick, the sophomore. Tyler out there to check on him. So a big shovel pass there to Mickey gets us near midfield with the penalty. And now Malik Abdi with a 12, 13-yard run puts us on Austin's side right at their 35-yard line. Yeah. Don't have to do too much through the air. I mean, when our run game is this solid.
Again, just fundamentals. The coaches will go back and probably watch this film once and make sure everybody's doing the little things correctly. For the offensive linemen, it's taking a good first step. It's where they're punching their hands. For the running backs, it's are you hitting the hole where you want it to? Are you accelerating at the right time? Just all the tiny little things that, kind of set up the results. Again, we were talking about you got to get a positive play before you get a first down. You got to get a first down before you get a touchdown, and it's no different just running a simple play. You got to start with the basics and build off of each little piece.
I would imagine this is probably going to be the last drive that we'll see Stewartville's number 1 offense, and there's a lot of guys on the sidelines, and I would imagine most of them are going to see the field tonight.
Most of them are hoping to get on the field and show mom or dad or grandpa or grandma
if for nothing else, then to stay a little bit warm.
Yep, exactly.
And good to see the Austin player get up. It looks like it must be a lower body injury as he's not putting any weight on the right side, right leg. And he'll be helped off.
You mentioned it, but it's always the downside of these playoff games that are, a little bit lopsided. Certainly Stewartville would never be intentionally hurting anybody,
No.
but it's just the nature of the time of the season. It's the two different levels or the two different places that these programs are at. Stewartville is coming off of back-to-back state titles. Austin, has been struggling to win games. It makes me want to go back to but just the state of Minnesota should consider the Wisconsin idea that you need to have a 500 record to get into the playoffs. And
Vince Wellick in the pistol. Malik Abdi behind him. Fumbles the snap. He's going to roll out to the right. He throws that one to Mickey Height. Great hands by Height. Mickey Height, I just want you to watch his hands on this. I mean, Vince Wellick does a good job of handling the snap, getting out. He's got number 5, Lucas Jorgensen, chasing him. But, I mean, so many times young receivers want to catch it in their body. They always want to catch it off their pads, and you'll see it bounce more often than not. And there you see Mickey Height using his hands.
And you mentioned the weather. The temperature out there is chilly, and so Mickey's out there with no gloves on.
No gloves. I saw that. Old school.
Catching the ball like Jerry Rice.
English to the left, Height to the right. Height goes in motion to join English. Abdi in the backfield. He's going to hand that one off on a right side. He's got English and Height leading the way. And there you talk about the power run of Malik Abdi. He just puts his shoulder down and barrels forward another 3 yards, and that's going to pick up a first down.
Yeah, and a good job by the offensive line. Once again, just dominating the Austin defensive line, opening up big holes. And when you got Peyton English and Mickey leading the way, you and I could pick up a first down.
Maybe. I'd like to think so.
Maybe.
I know you've picked up a few first downs on this field, Coach. Or at least handed off
enough, yeah.
Quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Quarterback, basketball, baseball. Did you play baseball?
I ran track.
Ran track.
Yep.
Ooh, which reminds me, we got to make sure we get show the new paint.
Yeah.
Wellick is going to fake that one. He's looking for somebody in the end zone. He's got Peyton English, who is able to stutter step there on the sideline and make sure he gets in. I mean, there were a lot of receivers running routes here, Coach, and Vince had his pick of who he wanted to go to. There's that fake to Abdi. He's going to roll out to the right. Peyton English looks like a defender fell down.
Yeah.
And how about Zeke Spencer coming back, give him a little block?
Zeke probably said, I could have scored that touchdown. English kind of delays before he comes out into the flats, and a well-executed play. Once again, good design, good execution.
Zeke was yelling glaze down there.
Yes,
glaze,
exactly.
glaze.
Yeah.
Rory Swanson comes on, trying to make it 36-0 with 38 seconds to go in the first quarter. There's the snap. There's the hold. And that one's good. 36-0 Stewartville. 38 seconds to go in the first quarter. As you see Vince Wellick out there, leader of the offense, giving his big cats high fives. You talk about the most important position group. That team right there. We've always had solid guys up front. You hear a lot about our running backs over the years, the Jordan Johnsons, the Brandon Hosts, the Carter Millers, the Dylan Scanlons. But those big guys up front, your Rich Hatts, your Peyton Byrne, your Lincoln Doobie, Eli Riggin, just love the big cats. We've always had a really solid front line. Oh, going back all the way to your years, Coach.
Well, every good football team, every good offense usually has a good offensive line.
Yeah.
And I'm probably, when I say every, there's probably been one or two. Tom Brady probably was able to manipulate and throw quick passes or whatever, but for the most part, those offensive linemen are the unsung heroes of high-scoring offenses. And likewise, these great defenses that we see, whether it's on Friday nights at high school or Saturdays for college football or in the NFL, those defensive lines do so much. We don't always call their names, but they're the ones that are just doing it. Yeah.
I mean, I remember, I think there was one year we had Parker, both the Grotjohn brothers, Dawson and Parker.
Yep.
You had Carter Jansen. You had Shane Byrne. I mean, I think the Curtis brothers were out there. I mean, just over the years, just really solid front line. And it looks like
And the
we'll
one
need
thing
someone to come
that Coach Muller and his coaching staff has just done such a good job of is, something that I, as a coach, didn't really get into. I just was trying to make big, strong guys, and Coach Muller has turned these guys into athletes who can run. You mentioned Tommy Lofgren, he can run. Quinn Potts can run.
Yes.
Like, these guys can move better than most, linebackers, but they're playing offensive and defensive line.
Oh, Lucas House came on, delivered a hit at least to slow him down, and then an onslaught of Tigers are going to make the tackle. Coach, a little trivia here. I just got texted by your former left tackle when you played. Do you remember who it was?
My former left tackle.
Yeah, when you were a player.
Jason Eckerman.
Okay, what? Anybody else?
Oh, I'm supposed to go across the whole line.
I don't know. I think he said left tackle.
It's got to be Lofgren, Eckerman, Steele.
Theobald?
Poop Johnson.
Was Theobald there? Bernie?
Bernie was a year in front of me. He was a guard.
He had just said back in your time. I didn't know if you were actually the quarterback or not, but
Bernie was an amazing football player.
There's another lineman, Parker Theobald. I think he had like 15 tackles for losses junior year.
Just a monster. Parker was.
Oh, Eli Shy! Speaking of monsters.
There you go. He's had a couple of the biggest hits of the year. On the first week, was it the first kickoff of the season that he did his thing? But that hit right there was similar with how he just ran through and put the smack on.
I mean, he kind of reminds you of an Eddie Bulldog Becker.
Yeah,
maybe when you look at a defensive tackle, you say, "Wait, he's a defensive tackle."
Yep.
But then the motor and the energy he brings, and just the willingness to compete, just never backs down.
Quickness and acceleration.
That's the end of the first quarter. Stewartville leads 36-0, something I have not done a good job at this season, and I apologize, is giving a big shout out to all the sponsors that have came together earlier in 2025 that helped us get all this equipment, the camera, the audio, the computer, the software program, the upgrade for instant replay. We got shotgun microphone, tripods. I mean, I could go on, the case that we have to carry it all in. I could go on and on, but really big thank you to all the families. That's what's kind of cool. It's not like big company donors writing a huge check. It was a bunch of families coming together here in Tiger Nation to kind of take our vision of bringing it to the next step. Instead of just using the huddle camera, let's see if we can't do something to bring up the quality of the broadcast. And the nice thing with this broadcast, Coach, is that because we've gotten this equipment with the sponsors, we've been able to do soccer games, boys and girls soccer games. We've been able to do a whole host of volleyball games. We could potentially, if we ever needed to, take it on the road. So just a huge shout out to all the people that are on this list. And there's a lot of anonymous donors that didn't want to be listed. They know who they are. And I just do want to say thank you so much for trusting us with your support, and hopefully we're bringing it home for you. I know that, that audio there in the first drive wasn't the best, but, we'll figure it out. First play going nowhere. So on the back of Eli Shy's tackle for loss, now we just dropped him for another 2-yard loss. I believe it's 3rd down and 15. You want to hear a cool story, Coach, about the sponsors? I'm guessing that we'll do okay. Well, maybe we'll wait till you have to remind me about my sponsor story. That kind of, it's just a neat story about how connections can happen, and especially you being a teacher, you might enjoy it. So here is Felton still in the backfield. Arndt has not come back in. Low snap. He's going to throw that one out to the flat. Nolan Light, he picks it off, and now he's going to run one back. He says, Brody Buckmeyer, you're not the only guy that can run a pick six. Nolan Light, first he catches a touchdown from Vince Wellick. Now he catches a touchdown from Austin.
Well, and one of the best things that a defensive back, especially a corner, can do is get your eyes to the quarterback. And you can see Nolan Light's eyes get to the quarterback here. And he's able to jump the route, a little out route coming right at him. And just jumps right in front of it. Tips it up in the air to himself, puts his hands on it, and again, cashes in the end zone. Amazing play by Nolan Light.
His final game here on Schaefer Field, a field that his dad helped lay the sod for and take care of. Josh told him all the best spots to make his cuts. And Swanson, that one's good. 43 rip, 11:06 to go in the second quarter. But we were talking about the sponsors, and I put out a video saying, hey, this is what the vision is. put a GoFundMe out there, and pretty quickly, to be honest with you, things started to roll in and gain some steam. And over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, we were able to hit our number. But something that was really cool is if I go back, when I was going through college, and especially when I graduated, you probably know this, as you get 23, 24, 25 years old, you start to mature a little bit, and you start to look back and you start to appreciate probably some people that helped you along through your tougher years. I would say that I probably wasn't the easiest kid to raise or easiest kid to have in class. I get my work done quick and start talking. But I had this math teacher. His name was Mr. Johnson, one of my favorite teachers of all time, 7th and 8th grade math. And in his class, he'd always talk to me about sports. He would teach us life lessons other than, math and how maybe math applied to life. And he just one of the best teachers I ever had. Fantastic guy. After college, I was like, I don't think I ever told him how much I appreciated him and how much he meant to me. He was always a chain gang guy. He's kind of like Slim for Wilmot High School. And so I got in touch with him after college and when we first got married, and we would email back and forth and always, send him Christmas cards and stuff. It was great to reconnect with him. But what I'm getting at is about probably 3 or 4 years ago, Mr. Johnson passed away. Each Christmas, we still send a Christmas card to Mrs. Johnson. Sue is his wife, and you probably saw her name on there. I got a card in the mail from her, and she talked about that, she lives down in Wisconsin, doesn't pay attention to the broadcast a ton, but, she sees it every now and then. And she said, I think Mr. Johnson would really want me to support this. And she sent me a check that was probably more than generous for somebody that's in their retirement ages, and you got to watch your finances. And I was just really humbled by it that, for her to not really be in Stewartville, not have a kid here, but to, Mr. Johnson would want me to do this for you. It kind of brings me back to being grateful and not just for the people that sponsor, but all those people. You're a teacher. I've seen you, be honored several times by students. I'm sure there's teachers when you went through school that you still think back of like, gosh, I loved having them in class. And I thought that was kind of a full circle moment. Just hopefully people out there listening realize, hey, if you can go back and say, hey, thank you. And that meant a lot. I know I probably wasn't the easiest kid, but I appreciate you sticking by me and supporting me.
It's
for
awesome.
this case, really made me feel good to be able to tell him that. I'm sure, from his letters back, he appreciated it because teaching is a thankless job. You guys don't get the credit you deserve. You don't get the reimbursement you deserve. People can talk all they want about summers off, but I've seen how much grading papers my wife does on nights and weekends and planning and being in the classroom, even in the summer. And so I appreciate what you guys do. And hopefully those kids that maybe are a little bit of trouble or look back and say, gosh, they still gave me, treated me with kindness and respect, maybe when I didn't even deserve it.
Well, it's an awesome story. And you will just say that. Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Holy cow.
Look at this.
No way. Awesome.
Oh,
the Loftus family coming up giving with gifts. We'll never turn those down.
Right.
Thanks, team. Appreciate the support of the Loftuses and the cross-country team.
Candy for you, too.
Hey, absolutely.
All right.
Don't count the calories. Those don't count in the Dan Simmons broadcast booth. If I learned one thing from Dan, he used to bring up – that's one thing I feel bad about you being up here is that I haven't delivered like Dan used to bring crock pots with meals and soups and hot dogs and brats every week. Sometimes he'd bring a pizza oven up here. We'd have frozen pizzas.
Well, you're carrying 2 or 3 suitcases at this point with the new equipment from our awesome donors, so – but to go back to your story, just awesome, to hear that you still remember the math teacher. And about once a year, I'll get an email from a past student, and it always comes on a day where I'm just feeling a little bit run down. It's just the coolest thing how it kind of happens. And I'll have, just an ex-student that's like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it does kind of warm your heart. So when you say just reach out, it doesn't have to be to a teacher, but
to somebody
appreciation to somebody that's helped make you better. I try to think about that every day when I'm working, that I'm in a job where I impact 125 people every day, in kind of a weird way. It's just part of the job, but yeah.
Well, we appreciate you as well as all the teachers, all the people that support our students. There's the snap. Felton's been doing a good job. That one, though, he's punting straight into the wind, and you can see how it just died when it got up in the air. He had good spin on it. It was a spiral. It looked like it was going to go, but that wind just pushed it right back as the flags are still blowing right to left on your screen. Speaking of grateful, I want to say thank you to our best camera girl in the business. Natalie Peterson comes up, sacrifices her Tuesday night to help us out. Landon, if you're out there listening, our normal cameraman had to stay home sick today. We appreciate all your help this year in 2025. Landon Hay stepped up for us. Senior year, not always easy to step away from your friends in the student section, but he came up. Always brought a lot of energy.
Yes, he did.
He's always pumped for those games, just like we were. Pretty good spotter too. Sometimes he'd be like, "Hey, flag over there," and I would never see it. So if you're there watching, Landon, we appreciate you, and hope you get back feeling well soon. Tigers are going to take over, and is that Wellick still out there? It is. Wellick's going to send Abdi in motion. He's going to fake that. It's going to be that screen to Mickey Height, and he's got the big cats out in front of him. Mickey Height's going to hit the sideline. Big block there by Goodman, and Mickey Height, is he going to take it to the house? They're looking. He does! Another highlight, but he can thank the big cats for that one out front blocking.
A beautiful screen pass that Stewartville has just gotten so good at year after year. Running the little slow screens here.
Gosh, I keep missing them. Sorry, Coach.
But, Mickey just settles in there. The offensive line do a good job of timing it up, and just a freight train of big bodies in front of Mickey as he heads down the sidelines.
They fake that swing pass to Malik Abdi and then come back the other way to Mickey Height. You talk about a guy, he's the leading receiver for us. He came into this game, 25 catches, 270 yards, 4 touchdowns. Well, he's got another one right there.
Well, you mentioned his hands on his last one. He certainly, it's no accident that he's the leading receiver.
Swanson puts it up, and we're halfway to 100, still with 9:44 to go in the second quarter. The nice thing, Mickey, Vince Wellick better go thank Mickey. All those yards also go on Vince's total for passing yards.
That's
hey,
true.
I might only threw it 2 yards, but you took it the last 50.
That's right, and he's up to 16 touchdowns at this point after, what does he have, 4 this half? He's having a good half throwing that football.
So the Tigers 50-0, and I would imagine the Colts are starting to come out for the starters. And so I would imagine we're going to see several new names. The future of Tiger Nation, we'll call it. I would imagine Pete Cheddar will get his turn under center on the next drive, whenever that is. So now the question becomes, is this going to be like a Red Wing game where at halftime they called it last year? I know there was an injury on the field, but they start to consider, when's enough?
Yep. Not sure how that works. I do believe that it's the head ref and the two coaches having that discussion at halftime, and I'm not sure what either coach will be feeling, but I think they can agree to either shorten the quarters or keep the clock running.
Good kick there by Swanson as he's taking advantage of the wind. Stenzel is on the return, tries to spin out of a tackle, and I believe that was number 38, Owen Sipple. Is it Sipple? Sipple?
Yep.
Sipple. I think he was one of the guys that Brandon Holt gave a shout out to, or didn't he give his running backs a shout out?
It might have been, yeah.
I thought it was Sipple.
Yeah. When he was on Wake Up Football.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it might have been.
I saw that he was posting something about Penei Sewell, the amount of newtons he was producing. Nat was in that class.
That was awesome. The way that Coach Hoth handled himself on national TV was phenomenal.
Felton in the backfield with Adams. He's going to hand that one off to Adams up the middle. Tackle made by Marshall Dick, I believe, who's come in at linebacker. All sorts of guys filtering in and out. Ethan Monty coming into the game at defensive tackle. He's pairing up with number 52, Ben Kinnitz.
Well, it is nice for these guys to get on the field. We talked about the schedule changing this year and playing a little tougher schedule. There's been less of these games that we've called a lot of in the last couple of years. But these guys that work so hard in practice all week are finally getting to show off in front of the fans, and that's kind of fun for them.
I guess Ben Kinnitz is at the near side defensive end. At the far side is Garrett Queasley. Oh, there's Kinnitz on cue, baby. Boy, am I glad I foreshadowed that one.
There you go, yeah.
Kinnitz and Queasley both have good size. You got Monty there, defensive tackle, and then Eli Shy making sure everybody on the defensive line knows what they're doing, as he's kind of, probably has the most time there. At linebackers, I talked about Marshall Dick. I'm trying to see who's at that middle linebacker spot. 31, I believe. Is that Brock Bly?
I think so.
It is. And then Lucas House on the far side. I didn't know some people call him LJ. Did you know that?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if he prefers that. Felton's got all day. Good job by the Austin offensive line. He's going to throw that one up. Oh, my gosh! Pierce Eastman just dumped him over. But he caught it.
He did catch it. Good catch.
Holy cow, Lathan Stenzel, what a catch.
And a nice throw, putting the ball right on the spot.
And all sorts of time for him.
Yeah.
Good job by that offensive line. And this is the backup quarterback. If you remember, Arndt went out.
He has not come back yet.
I can't believe he hung on to that. Pierce Eastman turning him into a gymnast there. So first down, Austin, as they are going to try to put something together. Trips on the near side. Adams in the backfield with Felton. He fakes the handoff. He keeps that one by himself. Marshall Dick is given pursuit. Here goes Pierce Eastman, knocks him out of bounds. But he may have picked up another first down. He does. They're going to move the chains. That's 2 plays in a row. Moving the chains, and that's what you talked about, Coach.
Yep, 2 first downs in a row. You start to feel a little bit positivity. Starts to radiate around the sidelines. A good play fake. Turns his entire body to the right side of the field and then just spins and takes off to the left. Kind of fooled the entire linebacking core of the Stewartville Tigers.
3 wide receivers to the near side. Tyler Carter to the far side. Zaboku, Stenzel, and Boverhouse over here. He's going to keep it again. Felton is. He's going to pick up about 2. Pierce Eastman on the tackle once again. I think that's 3 straight tackles by Eastman over there. Younger brother of Luke Eastman, one of our shutdown corners last year in the state championship team. He's wearing the same number too, I believe.
I think he is, yeah.
I think the Eastmans wear 12.
Well, you mentioned how Karsten Rader looks like
Chase Klug.
Chase Klug, and obviously the Eastman brothers resemble one another. It's always interesting when you start to see these numbers come back and the players kind of look similarly to maybe somebody from a year or 2 ago.
2nd down and 7. Felton's going to send Stenzel in motion. He's going to hand that one off to Adams. And, oh, here comes Eli Shy again. Another tackle for loss.
Well, Eli Shy's quickness continues to be a challenge for the Austin offensive line, and especially the center, who's snapping it back there to a new quarterback. And he's just got to get his first step so quick to the left or right, whichever side Eli is shooting to. That's a hard thing for a center to do.
You talked about guys that resemble their number. Well, not physically, but from a performance standpoint. How about number 11, Nolan Light, picking it off, taking it the other way? I remember one Tegan Malone, 3 interceptions and a half against Rochester Luard at Kasson-Mantorville. We needed it too.
Yeah,
our offense just wasn't moving. I'd never seen 3 interceptions in one half until Malone did it. They called him mitts, I guess. Big hands. He's going to throw that one up over the middle. And here comes, we got a pick. Is that Jordo? It is. That's his 2nd interception. And now he's off and running. He's going to try to get to the sidelines. And Felton comes over to make the tackle, but Grant Jordo with the interception gets it all the way down to the 36-yard line. Jordo had an interception already this year.
I think I've seen the turnover chain around his neck once already this year. If you remember back to the Byron game a week and a half ago, the Byron punt returner had the ball go over his head, and Jurdo was just sprinting as fast as he could to get on it, but the Byron returner was able to jump on it. But I think almost his third turnover right there. Jurdo does most of his work on special teams, but here he is tonight in the secondary making a play.
Pete Cheddar is now going to be the quarterback. He's got Brett Miller on the near side for wide receiver. I believe that's Deacon Rich, number 88 on the far side. 31 is Brock Bly. He'll be our H-back. Rory Swanson will be the halfback. 47 will be the tight end. That's Aiden Meineke. He has a touchdown catch this year, Meineke does. Trips right. Swanson in the backfield. Cheddar's going to go one-on-one with Brett Miller, and it's Miller time in Stewartville, baby! The sophomore. Beautiful pass there by Cheddar. He dropped it in a bucket, and Miller was the beneficiary.
Yeah, good route by Miller, getting on top of the corner for Austin, and then excellent pass by Pete Cheddar to put that thing right on the mitts.
You saw Miller was one-on-one here on the near side. They had trips to the right. He was all alone, and Miller just took off, and Cheddar did a good job leading him. And now Cheddar will get out there to hold the snap. This one's for Andrew Gutierrez. Don't we call him Goody?
Yeah.
Soccer player, I believe. Freshman. Snap. Hold is good. That one's a little low. Did it sneak through? It did. Like you said, they all count. They all count. 57 rip with 5:27 to go in the second quarter as Stewartville continues to move the ball.
Well, they're finding points wherever they want them. They're finding them throwing the ball, running the ball, intercepting the ball.
Yeah, Brett Miller, we talked about that when he came on in that Simley game, that he was coming up as a quarterback, but he's so athletic, and you want to get playmakers on the field however you can. You just saw him there at the wide receiver position. Run a beautiful route, great hands, take it the rest of the way without being touched. He's going to be another guy we're going to be talking about in the next couple years. Miller, just a sophomore.
And I think it'll probably be on the basketball court as well. I believe he's a tremendous basketball player who has skills in inside, outside, can kind of do it all.
I think he plays baseball too, doesn't he?
Okay.
Three sport. Well, you want him in track now, don't you, Coach?
I would love to have an athlete like that. We could find plenty of good things for him to do.
He'll figure it out. So Gutierrez is going to kick. Deacon Rich helping him out, holding the ball so that it doesn't blow off. Again, wind right to left, so Gutierrez is going to be helped out with this one as he kicks it up in the air. That one's going to bounce, and that's going to be a live ball. Landon Scanlon coming full speed, number 21. Tackle made there by number 32, Ivan Bold. The sophomore, I believe Bold, he's a wrestler. We were talking about Nolan Light, how Ramsey Miller might try to come and get him to come out to wrestling. Ivan Bold, pretty good wrestler in his own right. I think he's right around that 130, 140 range. That's what I always wonder with wrestlers. Like, they come into football season, you want them to bulk up and put some weight on, and then all of a sudden wrestling season comes, hey, we got to cut.
I've been asking a few of the wrestlers, like, what's your target weight? What do you want to wrestle at, basically?
Yeah.
And they always have a number, and I'm like, well, what are you at now? And sometimes I'm like, let's just keep eating.
Yeah,
maybe
right.
Just, but it is quite a sport. It's just grueling, and the discipline it takes to be a great wrestler is amazing.
So Felton fumbles the snap, and I think we got it. No, Eli Shy dove for it, but then it looked like it popped out, and it was landed right in the arms of Felton, but they are going to lose a couple of yards. They'll be on the 4-yard line now. Defensive backs over here, we got Cheddar, Lucas House. On the far side, you got Pierce Eastman, Rory Swanson's out there, Marshall Dick. Owen Johnson at safety. Also number 15, Levi Schrant, a senior. That's another good thing, getting a lot of seniors out there if you can.
Yeah.
Some playing time. Wyatt King, I see him at defensive end on the far side. Ethan Monty there in the middle. I believe Shy's with him. And so Felton, second down and about 16, we'll say. He's going to go back to pass. Oh, Eli Shy. Oh, Rory Swanson comes. Did he get the sack in the end zone? Is it a safety? Or did he get forward progress? Safety. Rory Swanson shot out of a cannon. I think the quarterback ran into Eli Shy first, but then old 20 came flying through. Not just the greatest onside kicker of all time. He's also going to put 2 points on the board for Stewartville. Now it's 59-0, 4:27 to go in the second quarter.
Well, I always like interesting stats, and I'm not sure that I've ever seen 2 safeties in one half at a Stewartville football game, but we got to see a block punt that turned into a safety.
That one I've never seen.
The Rory Swanson sack picks up a second safety in the first half of this game.
A lot of firsts for us this season. The onside kick, I would say the greatest onside kick I've ever seen from Stewartville. 2 safeties. An unfortunate thing. How about this? You and I were talking about this. You and I calling games had never lost calling a game until that Kasson-Mantorville week 3. Yeah. I mean, it helps when our guys go on a 30-game win streak. I mean, it's not like it's us. I'm the least superstitious guy out there. You talk about superstition, Bernie Theobald, this guy that's superstitious. But for me, the only thing I would say, it's not even a superstition. Crystal and I were talking about this. The only thing somebody could catch me on is when I walk onto a baseball field, I step over the third and first baseline. But that isn't superstition. I just feel like it looks really nice, and I don't want to kick the dirt into. I don't want to mess it up. I think that's more of my OCD than it is superstition. But I don't feel like I need to do anything in particular. Are you a superstitious guy? Do you have any or playing days?
No, not. I mean, I used to be superstitious. I had 2 pairs of basketball shoes, and if I shot poorly in the first half, I would put the other pair on for the second half. But
here comes Felton, a low punt. That's going to be picked up by Landon Scanlon. Old 21 is going to be a Scanlon brother, just like Dylan. He slips and gets right to midfield with 4:23 to go. We'll see if Stewartville can put another one on the board as Cheddar trots out there. I wonder why Henry never went to quarterback. You know, Will was a 4-year starter at quarterback. Pete Cheddar's always been a quarterback. Boy, am I glad he wasn't.
Yeah.
Because that Y middle screen, we just name it the Henry Cheddar screen.
Yeah, true.
And then, to be honest with you, what he did on defense, he was all over the field. I think Muller said one day he ran like 8 miles on a football field.
Oh, yeah. That's
you know
right.
how it
when
tracks
we had the little
it?
tracker. Yeah. Yeah, incredible.
One of the most underrated football players, Henry Cheddar.
For sure.
Now playing St. John's, is it?
Yep,
Basketball?
St. John's basketball.
Here comes Miller in motion. Cheddar's going to wait for him. He's going to fake that. He's going to give it off to Rory Swanson off left tackle, and Rory Swanson trying to hit the sideline. He does a little stutter step, and he's going to get taken down at the 26-yard line for a pickup of 24.
So to go back to your hopping over the baseline.
Yeah.
I was watching the Mariners and the Blue Jays last night, and they did this little thing where some stats geek was paying attention to all through the entire playoffs who hopped the line and who stepped on it.
Yeah.
And then they were measuring their stats.
No way.
The people that hopped over the line had a better batting average and more exit velocity on the times they made contact than the people who stepped on the line. And I was just like,
funny.
Who's got the idea to watch that and then to put in the effort to do it?
Rory Swanson off right tackle. He's going to pick up another 9 or 10. We'll see where they mark him. Just going to the wide side of the field and letting that trips formation on the right side try to steal the edge.
And again, more good offensive line play from this second unit. They're doing a great job of just sealing the edge and letting these backs take off. Swanson's getting some good yardage before he even gets touched.
So Garrett Queasley at left tackle. I believe Ben Knitt's left guard. I saw Parker Tesh out there, I believe. Also 54, Ryan Erie at right tackle. Snap, here comes Brett Miller on the jet sweep. He's got 3 guys out in front of him. Diving tackle there by number 51, Robert Lillis of Austin. Giving everything he's got here. Lillis, a senior. Final game in the red and white. They're going to wind the clock. 3:21 to go. Stewartville up 59. Peyton Rowe is the near side wide receiver. On the far side, 84, Dylan Hoover is with Brock Bly. Ooh, high snap, but Rory Swanson catches it. He's going to make lemonade out of lemons as he takes it all the way in for a score, but we do have a flag down. It might be either a peel back block or a block in the back. So with those peel back blocks, as you know, Coach, you got to lead with your hands. You can't lower the shoulder. We'll see what he calls. Illegal block in the back. What a job by Rory Swanson to make something out of that. That would have been a highlight play for him.
Well, I did love your call. Making just right away, making lemonade out of lemons. That was great.
Sometimes I don't even know what's coming out of the old mouth into the microphone. As long as the FCC doesn't shut us down. So he's going to move. Cheddar's going to move Bly to the right. Swanson behind him. First down and goal. They're going to hand that off to Rory Swanson up the middle. And he's going to get inside the 10-yard line, goes down about the 9. I think Jackson Blease is in there. Talk about a friend of the show. I don't know if his dad's flying this week and watching the show or not, but 85 out there with the white gloves. A lot of times these guys wear gloves not just to catch the ball, but to stay warm.
Yeah. Some of these guys probably had to take the hand warmers out before they got into the game. A little extra sand in the gloves there.
Second down and goal from the 9. Swanson to Cheddar's left. There goes Bly in motion to the right. Another high snap. Cheddar's able to throw the screen over to Swanson. Oh, no, it's picked off. It's picked off, and Cheddar's going to try to force him out of bounds. Ryan Erie, I believe, is... Oh, no. Stewartville gives up a pick 6 from 90 yards away. Oh, and he spikes it. That should be a flag, no? I guess that's allowed. I don't know. Either way, Isaac Mayan, the senior, with the interception return for a touchdown. Give credit to him coming down the sideline. I'm surprised he didn't step out, able to cut back.
Well, good job sitting on the screenplay and then to make the play and have enough energy and effort to score from 90. A pretty darn good play there.
Stewartville was running the screen to Swanson to the left. And it looked like a lot of congestion, to be honest with you.
Well, and it started with another high snap, which just kind of, those slow screens they're built on timing.
Yeah.
And so when it starts out with a high snap, the timing is just off from the get-go. It just makes things a little tricky.
Oh, that's blocked. They had about 5 guys coming through. That might have been Rory Swanson. Him and Marshall Dick led the way. I know Ryan Erie and Garrett Queasley were right there. There was about 4 or 5 of them. I wish I'd remember to do instant replay. I keep forgetting. I bet I caught it late. Yeah. So 59-6. 59-6. Doesn't go on offensive yardage because it was a defensive return. Oh, Alex Hayne is going to be all over Coach Muller. You know he is. If the Gold Rush can keep what they got up there, he's going to say, your offense gave up more points than my defense.
Yeah.
Alex Hayne will find a nicer way to say it, I'm sure, but or quieter or smooth.
It might just be a look from Coach Hayne. He can give you a look, and you know.
1:55 to go in the first half. Now the question is, do you think Stewartville will try to push it or just kind of take their time?
Yeah, I think they'll just run the ball and
take their time.
You know, these guys that are in at this point are just going to run their offense, and I don't think they'll worry too much about the clock. But at the same time, you're teaching these young players how to use a two-minute drill. So we'll see what they do.
Felton's going to kick this one away. He's got Mayan, the guy who just scored the touchdown. Little short kick there. You got to pick it up. Oh, and he gets clobbered by Zabuku. I believe 47, Aiden Meineke was the one that had to jump on that one. And Cheddar will go back out, lead this offense, and we'll see what. Now the question is Coach Muller calling the plays, or do they kick it over to Coach Conger and team?
Yeah, I would have a hunch that it's Coach Conger, but I truly don't know the answer to that.
Maybe if they would give us one of those things we talked about a couple of years ago, a little earpiece for our headset so we can listen into what they're talking about. Then we could really look like geniuses. Hey, I bet they're going to run a jet sweep here.
I feel like you've done pretty well today. Do you have an earpiece in?
I wish. Cheddar hands that one off. That's Marshall Dick. He's going to try to cut it back to the middle, spins out, gets down to the 40, 41 yard line. And it's going to be 2nd down and 5. And you're right, Stewartville is taking its time. Happy with running this clock all the way to the end, up 53. Marshall Dick in the backfield with Cheddar. In motion goes Dylan Hoover. They're going to hand it off to Marshall as he's going to, again, cut back to the middle of the field. Oh, he's got a little sweet feet in him, doesn't he?
Just some good moves, a good jump cut.
Been watching Malik Abdi enough. You pick up a few things. Either that or playing video games. 1:05 to go.
Well, it is fun to see these guys in different. I mean, we've seen Marshall Dick on special teams how many times this year, running down on kickoff or making plays on kick return. So to see him getting some carries here, it's always.
Yeah, Marshall Dick and Brock Bly were responsible for that fake punt that we ran.
That's right.
I'm trying to remember what week it was. It was on the road, I know.
Yeah.
The Big Mac. There's a pass out there to Bly, who I just mentioned. Seems like every time I talk about somebody, they make a play. We saw it with Ben Kinnitz on defense, and now Brock Bly on offense. Scanlon checking in for Hayden Petrick. 2nd down and 5, and we'll see if they run another play. 15 seconds to go as the clock continues to tick. Stick around. As soon as the clock strikes 0, we're going to start our halftime show. It's a little bit longer. And we'll get you caught up on everything that's happened the last 2 weeks. Cheddar's going to hand that one off to Marshall Dick. Marshall Dick kind of cuts into the middle, and that's going to do it for the first half. Stewartville leads 59-6. Aaron Meyer, Adam Peterson up here in the Dan Simmons broadcast booth will step away and get you caught up on everything going on in fall sports here in Stewartville with the Tiger Nation halftime report. Hey, what's up, Stewartville fans, and welcome into the Tiger Nation halftime report. And I'm here to catch you up on everything that has transpired for our fall sports teams since we were last together, which I believe was October 10th. Halftime of the greatest high school football game I've ever seen, Byron versus Stewartville. A lot has happened since then, so let me get you to it. Friday and Saturday, October 10th and 11th. Volleyball team was at Apple Valley Invitational. They unfortunately had to miss that Byron game. Feel bad for them because it was a thriller. Boys soccer also had their section semifinal game on that Saturday. Ladies first. Volleyball started out against Tracy Milroy Balaton and then would have to take on Farmington in the day 1 matchup. Stewartville would beat TMB 25-18, 25-12. Ella Theobald led the way in kills with 9. Spencer Nagel had 4. Dream Petershaw, Matilda Doobie, Sylvia Husenfeld, and Brooklyn Peterson each had 3 kills apiece. Doobie dropped 5 aces from the service line. The surgeon was operating just fantastic. Reagan Middlestadt had 12 digs. Abby Langseth had 5 digs to go along with her 10 set assists. Clara Theobald led the team in assists with 13. Stewartville would then roll Farmington in a battle of the Tigers. You know who the real Tiger Nation is. 25-11, 25-18. Ella Theobald again led the squad with 7 hammers. 7 hammers on 15 swings. My girl Dream Peterson finished with 5 kills. Matilda Doobie, Sydney Clark, Sylvia Husenfeld each had 4 kills. Clark led the team in blocks with 3. Doobie with 2 of her own. Abby Langseth dished out 12 assists, had 3 digs. Claire Theobald had 9 assists, 4 digs. Spencer Nagel and Reagan Middlestadt each had 10 digs apiece in that back row. That moves Stewartville to take on Chanhassen in the semifinal. We would drop this match in straight sets. Didn't play our best. Don't think we played our best. Dream Peterson had 4 kills and 3 blocks to lead the Tigers. Spencer Nagel also had 4 kills with 6 digs. Abby Langseth was the only one to drop an ace serving, and also she led the way with 6 set assists. That moved us into the 3rd place match against host Apple Valley. After dropping our first set here, you see it 25-21. We totally redeemed ourselves. Unbelievable. We won by the same score, 25-21 in the second set, and then 17-15 extra
points. Went to extra points, 17-15 in favor of our squad, baby. Big win. Matilda Doobie had a solid match, 9 kills and 3 blocks with 1 ace. Dream Peterson had 8 kills on 18 swings and 2 blocks. Ella Theobald had 7 kills with 2 denials at the net. Husenfeld had 5 kills, Nagel with 4. Spencer Nagel also had 13 digs, while Middlestadt added 18. Leah Hebel playing outstanding in that back row. She's so good. She had 9 digs in this game. Abby Langseth and Claire Theobald combined for 29 set assists, 17 for Langseth, 12 for Theobald. Here's the team pick with third place medals. My favorite volleyball team, and not just Minnesota, the entire United States of America, the Stewartville Tigers, baby. Boys soccer was also in action, taking on St. Charles Lewiston Altura in playoffs. Winner gets to advance to the section championship game. Just 3 days later, Stewartville come into the game unblemished in the loss column. The big fat 0 there, undefeated. And they rattle off another one, baby. Stewartville wins it 4-1. Cole Kropp had himself a day. He scored all 4 of the Tigers' goals 2 times. He could thank Torres for the assist, and twice he could thank Lucas Yenny. Breckenrester has been a star in goal for us. 6 saves in this game. Huge. Just huge. 1 game away from the state tournament. Please, boys, please make it happen. What a great year. We move to Tuesday, October 14th, and we have 3 teams in action. Let's start with cross country. They were in Kasson-Mantorville for the HVL Conference Championships. Conditions not favorable. Not favorable. It was cold, it was rainy, wet course, tough conditions, but our runners were ready for it. Let's talk about the girls first. Girls, 3 top 20 finishers for the Tigers. Genevieve Husenfeld, a 7th grader. Unbelievable. What has she been doing? Just racking up just amazing runs. Race after race, she took 9th place here, 20 minutes, 51 seconds. Sella Skieran right behind her in 10th place, 21:51, a half second behind Husenfeld. Elise Campbell, a top 20 finish in 19th, 21:36 was her time. Luella Geechee, 26th place, 21:59. Rachel Ryland, 22:29, good for 32nd place. Reese Schatz, 36th place, 22:49. And then senior Olivia Bunny, 23:05, good for 39th place. Add those all up, and the team, you see right there, they take 5th place. So pretty solid showing there for the girls, as we had those 2 top 10 finishers, 3 in the top 20. Next up, the freight train known as the boys cross country squad had all 5 scorers in the top 15, all 7 runners in the top 25. Just ridiculous. Just video game numbers if they made a video game for cross country. Nolan Schatz, 3rd place for him, 17:03. Jackson Eckerman, what a run by the sophomore, 7th place for him, 17:27. Asher Langseth, 9th place for him, 17:35. Josiah Scruggs, 17:39. That was good for 11th place. Jack Owen, 14th place, 17:49. Those are our top 5 scores, but even look at our 6th and 7th guys. They're just as good as most teams' top runners. Jack Horb, 20th place, 18:28. Mason Russell, 25th place with a time of 18:42. Add those place finishers up, and what you get is a conference championship coming back to Tiger Nation, baby. Stewartville finishes with 44 points, 6 spots in front of the Comets. Big congratulations to the boys team. And with those individual results you just heard, here is the list of Stewartville's all-conference runners. You almost need 2 pages for this. You almost need 2 pages. All 5 boys runners for our scorers, all-conference. Genevieve Husenfeld and Sel Skieran, also all-conference, as they went 9th and 10th place. How about that? Nolan Schatz, Jackson Eckerman, Asher Langseth, Josiah Scruggs, Jack Owen. All-conference, and then Husenfeld and Skieran. 7 Tigers on the all-conference list. Love to see that. Thank you for representing Tiger Nation the way you do. Awesome. What do we got next? We got volleyball. Volleyball was on the road taking on Goodhue in our final conference matchup of the season. Stewartville, let's just say they took it to the Wildcats. No mercy shown. None. 25-13, 25-15. Made them feel like they were in it, but then closed it out 25-23. And with that win, undefeated in the HVL, and your 2025 conference champs, just incredible. Undefeated, undisputed. My girl Dream Peterson was unstoppable last Tuesday. 11 kills with a 52% kill percentage, 4 blocks. Doobie, 8 kills, 2 blocks. Spencer Nagel with 5 kills. Sylvia with 4 kills, 2 blocks. Clara and Theobald with 3 kills. Brooklyn with 2 kills. Middlestadt had a ridiculous 20 digs. Claire Theobald and Abby Langseth each had 5 digs. Claire handing out 19 assists. Abby had a baker's dozen, 13. So just a great job by this team right here. They have been playing about as well as you can. Also Also last Tuesday, the biggest match in the history of our boys soccer program. Biggest match ever. Number 1 seed Stewartville taking on the defending section champion. Runner-up at state last year, Rochester Lured Eagles. They were squaring off for all the marbles, baby, and it was at Dover Yoda. And what happened? What happened, you ask? Play that Tiger Nation anthem, baby! Hit their music! Yes! 2-0, baby! Yeah! Let's go! Let's go! Play that Tiger Nation anthem, baby! I guess it could be a national anthem. Anyway, boys soccer team, first time in school history, section champions, moving on to the state tournament, undefeated, undisputed, a run for the ages. Incredible. Cole Kropp puts the team on his back, scoring the final 2 games, all goals for the final 2 games of sections. 4 goals against St. Charles, 2 goals against Lourdes. This guy is one of the greatest in school history for the sport of soccer. Lukey Nelson with 2 assists, Brecken Rester with the clean sheet, baby, clean sheet. 15 seniors, all banded together, made their childhood sports dream a reality with a trip to the state tournament. Huge, huge. Big congrats to Coach Queasley and his squad. With that, some postseason awards are coming to Tiger Nation as well. You can't do this good for the boys soccer team and not be bringing home some hardware. Let's run them down right here. Cole Kropp, first team. Oh, first all conference I got here. 5 HVL All-Conference members. You got Cody Clark, Cole Kropp, Brecken Rester, Will Turner, Matthew Waters. So congratulations to those 5. Unbelievable. I've watched them play. They're all real good, deserving of the awards. And then individual awards. Cole Kropp, first team All-State, school record for goals in a season. This guy may in fact be the GOAT for soccer in Stewartville. 28 goals, 12 assists, set the school record for goals in a season. Will that be touched again? I don't know. It might not be. He's that good. Matthew Waters, all-state second team, did such a good job in the middle of the field for us. Kind of back and forth. Offense, defense, he can do it all. And then Cody Clark. The final wall you have to go through to get to Brecken Rester, all-state second team. He was fantastic. Also, 5 goals, 5 assists. Even though he was center back, he still put some kicks on net. Unbelievable. Just great to see. Great to see. Last Wednesday, I don't know if you caught this since I didn't do a pregame show, final regular season game for football at Delano. 2-hour drive there to have a battle for the Tigers. 2-hour drive. I don't like that. What you got here is just the graphic, and then Stewartville just destroys Delano. Just destroys them. The gold rush was cutthroat. They allowed like almost just over 100 total yards and a field goal. A field goal. Just measly field goal. 39-3 was the final score. Let's run down some individual statistics here. Vinny City, baby. Vince Wellick, 11 for 16, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. Malik Abdi, 12 carries, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. Simon Emmanuel, what a day for him. 10 carries, 60 yards. Also had a 60-yard touchdown catch and run. Mickey Height, 5 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. Then on defense, he goes and has 7 tackles and a sack. Peyton English, 4 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown. Cody Carlin, 1 catch for 18 yards and a touchdown. Zeke Spencer, I'm telling you, this guy will send you to the hospital if he tackles you. 10 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble. Eli Shy, 7 tackles and a sack for him. Carson Jansen, 5 tackles and 1 fumble recovery. That would end our season at 6-2. 6-2 for the football team, and then going into sections, which you're watching right now, baby. Saturday, October 18th, volleyball had the end of the season tournament up in Chaska. Saturday only, 1-day tournament. Thank you for that. 3 pool play matches followed by 1 match to see who brings home the hardware, and we'll get to that in a bit. Pool play number 1. We started out with a rematch against Fillmore Central, an electric 5-set thriller. What was it, like September 18th, I think, that the Tigers won 3-2. It was not the same type of match this time. After Stewartville stopped hitting their snooze alarm, they woke up and they were in full control the rest of the way. It was 25-17, 25-16. Ella Theobald and Spencer Nagel had 5 kills apiece. Nagel also had 9 digs to lead the team. 4 kills and 4 blocks for the surgeon Matilda Doobie. Petershon and Husenfeld each had 3 blocks. Clar with 2. Clara Theobald dished out 12 assists and had 2 aces serving. Abby Langseth had 7 assists. we moved to pool play game number 2. It was against Bemidji, and this one was more like a semi-truck rolling over a grasshopper, if you know what I mean. Stewartville dominated this one, 25-12, 25-17. 8 players with multiple kills. Sylvia Husenfeld led the way with 4. Claire Bunny had 3, and then Ella Theobald, Quinn Krause, Olivia Hamilton, Matilda Doobie, Ella Minnick, and my favorite volleyball player, Brooklyn Peterson, each had 2 kills as the setters were just getting everybody involved in this match. Claire Theobald and Abby Langstaff combined for 20 assists, 5 service aces between the two of them as well. Leah Hebel dropped the Hebel Hammer, sponsored by Hebel Septic, with 3 aces of her own and playing the back row about as good as you can. Then we played the host team, Chaska, in the third pool play game. Caught some tough breaks, we'll say. If anybody's there, they know what I'm talking about. Lost this one 2-1, 25-21, 27-25, and then 15-10. That created a 3-way tie up top as Fillmore Central actually beat Chaska in 3 sets the round before. They went to the tiebreakers, and Stewartville would get the top spot for our pool. For this match, Ella Theobald wasn't just dropping the hammer, she was dropping the sledgehammer this game. 10 kills, 48% kill percentage. She had 5 blocks at the net. Spencer Nagel and Matilda Doobie each had 7 kills. Dream Petershon had 5 kills and 4 blocks. Leah Hebel had some highlight digs for us from that back row. Diving, making a great dig. 8 digs for her. Also 8 for Reagan Middlestat, 6 for Nagel, 5 for Clara Theobald. Abby Langseth had 16 assists. Clara had 19. Winning the tiebreaker, that would push us into the championship match against defending 1A state champions and the current number 1 state ranked Mayor Lutheran squad. This match was a thriller. Tons of huge hits, some unbelievable saves, high-level volleyball at its finest, and when the dust settled, Stewartville takes home the title, baby. 25-21, 25-22 to win the Chaska Invitational. Matilda Doobie, the surgeon, she couldn't have been operating any better from the middle. Led the team with 11 kills on only 14 swings. 11 kills on 14 swings, 0 errors. Also had 3 blocks and 2 aces. Ella Theobald dropping bombs. Unbelievable. 7 kills for her. Petershon, Nagel, Clark each had 4 kills on the match. I thought Spencer Nagel played really well this tournament. Really well, the sophomore Nagel did. Also had 7 digs and 2 blocks to go with her kills. Claire Theobald had 19 assists while Langseth had 10. With this win, the Tigers finished the season with a 23-4 record, HVL Conference champs, and you see it here, the Chaska Invitational champs. This crew is playing very well right now. Excited to see them in playoffs. Speaking of which, let's talk about what's coming up this week. Is it's postseason time? Playoffs? Did you say playoffs? Yeah, you're darn right I did. Tomorrow night, volleyball. The number 1 seed volleyball team starts their postseason run. They earned that number 1 seed. Boy, did they play some tough teams, and they came through. They'll be taking on Faribault at home. If they win, the following Wednesday, so not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, they would face the winner of the Byron and Austin matchup in Stewartville. That'll be a big ticket if Byron and Stewartville squares off one more time. Tomorrow also begins the boys soccer state tournament, as for the first time ever, Stewartville will be represented in the bracket. Our boys got the number 2 seed, and they'll take on Mounds Park Academy at 5:30 in Farmington. Great memories in Farmington back from the 2015 state quarterfinal football game that we played against Marshall. Dan Simmons and I called that game from their broadcast booth. Best broadcast booth I've ever been in at a high school. Unbelievable. I hope the same good fortune is in store for our soccer team that it was for our football team 10 years ago. I want to wish them the best of luck as they try to keep making history for Tiger Nation, one game at a time. Love watching them and their success this year. They've earned it. Cross country, they'll be running in Albert Lee on Thursday for the Section 1 2A championships to see which individuals or teams will advance to the state meet. Genevieve Husenfeld has been the most impactful newcomer to the sport at any school in the HVL this year. Celiscarin has been solid all year long. And then our boys team. Oh, our boys team. They have been incredible in 2025. Not many people running better than Nolan Schatz. Jackson Eckerman really stepped up in that HVL meet. You got Asher Langseth, Josiah Scruggs, Jack Owen. I mean, we got a strong team that may have a shot. They may have a shot to go to the state meet together if they run well. Oh, that would just be awesome, though. Wouldn't that be? That would be just awesome. And I hope it happens. Cheering for you guys out there. Cheering for you hard. That's all I have for you, though, on the Tiger Nation halftime report. Best of luck to all our fall sports teams in the postseason. And for you football fans, man, you got to stick around. We still have second half action of this Stewartville versus Austin Section 1 4A quarterfinal game here in Tiger Nation. It'll be coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
We are back for second half action here at Schaefer Field in Section 1 4A quarterfinal game between the Austin Packers and Stewartville Tigers. You're talking about the track getting painted, Coach? Well, it looked like a track meet there in the first half as the Tigers put up 59 points. Big interception return for a touchdown, though. Put the 6 points on the board for Austin. 53-point lead going into the second half, Coach.
Yeah, a lot of scoring in different ways. Special teams got on the board. Defense got on the board. Offense got on the board in different ways. Just a tremendous first half for Stewartville. Exactly how they wanted to start their playoff season here. Heading into a Tuesday chilly night. Turned out great. They got to be feeling pretty warm and fuzzy inside right now.
Gutierrez will be kicking off. Deacon Rich is going to be holding the ball for him. Back deep to receive. I believe that's Stenzel. Stenzel is going to take this one. Adams is right in front of him trying to block. They're going to close the gap. That's Aiden Meineke with the tackle. Did he rip it out? Coach, how fortuitous would that be for Stewartville? It'd be like double dipping almost. He's saying it is. It's Stewartville ball. Wow. Was that off the Meineke tackle too?
Well, he did kind of rip at it.
He did.
He kind of got flipped upside down almost. I couldn't tell if his elbow was down before the ball came out, but neither official had a very good view at that. So at that point, you're kind of guessing.
Ryan, Sue, and Sophie's got to be cheering for that one. Aiden Meineke making a big tackle to start off the second half. And now Stewartville's offense in great field position at the 33-yard line. Pete Cheddar is going to be at quarterback. Running back, Rory Swanson. The other guys out there, Hayden Petrick. Brock Bly is your H-back. Landon Scanlon on the near side. I didn't see who went out to the far side. Bly goes in motion to the right. They're going to hand that one off to Rory Swanson. Stretch play to the right. And there's going to be a flag that comes down. I would imagine holding. We'll see what the call is. It's going to be holding on Stewartville. It'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay first down. So what? First down and maybe 18, I would say.
Be a good guess. Stewartville kind of going back to where they started the first half, running off tackle and getting to the edge. They've done it successfully all night, even with this second crew that's in there. You know, had we not had the holding there was probably 5-6 yards that were available for Swanson.
Peyton Rowe on the near side. Petrick and Bly on the far side, kind of in that H-back stacked setup. Rory Swanson behind Pete Cheddar. Pete Cheddar doing a good job making sure everybody is how they should be. Now they have trips right. As they're going to hand that one off to the left. Counter play to Rory Swanson as he finds an opening. Cuts to the left. Breaks a tackle. Drops the ball. He gets it back, though. It just kind of popped out of his arms.
An interesting play there in that, 90% of the time Stewartville runs behind the bunch, and we saw the trips bunch to the right on that particular play, and Swanson takes the ball and bounces it left immediately and finds a huge hole for some running room there. Just kind of breaking a tendency, which, again, with the second group, and we don't know necessarily if Coach Muller or Coach Miller is calling the plays down there, but, just kind of a small thing that I noticed that usually they're running towards that bunch, and on that particular play they went to the weak side.
You see the 5 big cats line up, and then the other 6 guys all standing in a line taking the signs from the sideline. Bly goes in motion. Second down and 5. Cheddar gets a high snap. He hands that one off to Rory Swanson. Rory Swanson now, he cuts to the edge. Is he going to get all the way in? He gets pushed out. They got a touchdown for Swanson. He gets inside the pylon. The referees were discussing on whether or not he got pushed out before, but they agreed it was a touchdown for 20.
Well, just taking it right up the gut, right up the A-gap, and then bounces it to the outside and shows off his speed. Rory Swanson getting himself on the board.
How many more ways
6
can
out of
he
10.
score tonight?
Yeah, that's
He's
just
got
it.
the extra points.
Yep.
He had the safety, and now he's got a touchdown rushing.
Exactly.
All right, we got a new holder out here. Is that Alex Anderson? So a little bit off rhythm there in the extra point. Stewartville leads 65-6 with 11:27 to go, as it only takes them 33 seconds to score here in the second half. Got the ball back with the Aiden Meineke tackle on special teams that ripped the ball loose. Stewartville took over in short field and was able to capitalize on a Rory Swanson touchdown run. And now Stewartville's up 59. There's not much more depth that they could go down this roster. You see a lot of sophomores and even a couple, I guess Gutierrez is a freshman, but he's our kicker, but a lot of sophomores playing. I'm looking down this roster, and there's not a ton of guys' names who we haven't called running out there. Gutierrez will kick off. Heard this song about 8 times tonight. Remember last year? We used to hear this song a lot last year.
Yes.
Those were the games that big blowouts, and the kicker was the only one that had to ice after the game. Comes Gutierrez with the wind, still blowing pretty hard right to left. That one's going to be fielded by Keon Adams. Landon Scanlon gets the tackle.
Nice job by Landon Scanlon to maintain his lane integrity and then defeat the block in front of him and make the tackle. Good fundamentals.
Austin will start at their own 29-yard line. 11:22 to go. Eastman on the near side. On the far side, 23 Hayden Petrick. Lucas House also covering one of the slot receivers. Felton's going to hand that one off up the middle. I believe that's Adams. And the big cat's up front. Make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Marshall Dick came in from that linebacker position to finish him off. But Ethan Monty, he's a space eater there in the middle, Coach, a space eater.
One of my favorite plays from the season was the 2-point conversion when Ethan Monty got to carry the ball in for 2. Not what I expected
That's
to see.
against Faribault, I think. Faribault on the road.
Was not on my bingo card, whatever game it was.
Carson Jansen also had a carry on that one.
True, yes.
The old tumbleweed, I think it was. I didn't realize why they called it tumbleweed until Coach Muller told me. Felton's going to pitch that one to the front. Boy, that took all sorts of time to develop. And Petrick makes the tackle. Did you know why they call it tumbleweed?
No, tell me.
So it was designed for Jamie Hart.
Yep.
And Jamie Hart, they called it tumbleweed because I think it was a week or two before, if you remember, there was a touchdown, and he did somersaults all the way from the 20-yard line into the end zone, got us a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. And so it looked like tumbleweed rolling across. And so then once they made the play for Jamie Hart, they nicknamed it tumbleweed because of his somersault antics.
That's awesome.
And now they've just kept it.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think if that's a similar play to what Lincoln Doobie scored on.
Similar.
The Emancipation Proclamation where he came around. Yeah. I don't know if that's what I don't think they called it that because I don't think Vince Wellick is spitting that out. Oh, Felton trips, but he's going to try to run to the right. And on the tackle is number 35, Cooper Fay.
I think we're going to get a hold here. That ball's going to be going backwards.
You wonder if they'll decline it.
Yeah, they might.
Second down and the loss of yardage. They're just assuming he's going to accept it. And it looks like Coach Muller will.
Well, after a couple nice plays, it's just a defeating feeling when, I saw the Austin player kind of put his hands on his face mask like, oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
When you take the 10 yards from the spot of the foul and you're already 10 yards in the backfield, that's a big one.
He's probably whispering to the ref, please don't say the number. Don't say the number.
Well, you're kind of calling yourself out when you're the one putting the hand
Yeah.
on the face mask.
You got to point at a teammate. Throw him right under the bus.
Right.
Ben Kinnitz on the left defensive end. Inside him, Garrett Queasley at defensive tackle. Ryan Erie, right defensive tackle. And on that far side, 50, I want to say it's Parker Tesh, but I can't see that far. Who else we got in there? We got Cooper Fay. We just talked about him. LJ Lucas House. Got Marshall Dick. At safety, Owen Johnson. And 15, Levi Schrant. So taking a while to get this set. First down, and I'm glad Bill does the math. It says 32 on the board. 10. I mean, that might be pretty close. I was going to guess 30, but they have to get to the 48-yard line on the opposite side of midfield for a first down. They have their backup quarterback after Eli Arndt went down with an injury early in the first quarter. Keon Adams in the backfield, 2 wide receivers. Now one goes in motion. That was Stenzel. They're going to hand that one off to Adams up the middle. And he picks up a few yards, about 4, as he fights his way through that side of the left tackle. I believe Cooper Fay was there to bring him down, as well as Lucas House.
Really kind of, when we saw Felton come in the game, they had, what do I want to say, like just running a basic play, getting the snap was a problem, and you can just see it's cleaning itself up pretty quickly. They're getting the snaps, the play fakes are nice. You can just tell that they haven't worked it a lot together, but you got to give them credit for hanging in there and doing the best they can here.
So House and Eastman on the near side. Here comes that jet sweep. Oh, Lucas House drops him. Pierce Eastman helped with the other side of that sandwich.
Yeah, really good job of just stringing it out. Everybody doing their jobs, and Lucas House gets to bring the thunder from his spot.
He switched numbers. I think last year he was 24, I want to say. This year he's number 1. I do know he switched numbers, though. That always throws us off. They shouldn't be allowed to do that for us broadcasters. I know it's not about us, but Lucas House delivers. He did a good job of working through a block. They were trying to seal him inside, and he fought through it.
Yeah.
And now it's third down, and the board says 28. I'm not going to argue. Also not going to do the math. Felton in the backfield. He's going to fake that. He's going to keep it. We've actually had some success, or Felton has had some success doing that, the old quarterback keep. He picks up probably 12, but it's still going to make it fourth down and 13. They were that far back to start.
You can see the athleticism when Felton gets it. The little play fakes he's making look pretty good, and then he accelerates out of that QB spot quite nicely.
Just a sophomore. They have him listed as a running back on the roster. The thing is watching him, so when I was watching the Zimbrota-Mazeppa game, which I believe was week 8, I didn't even have Matthew Felton written down as one of the starters. Quarterback was Eli Arndt. The 2 running backs were Lucas Jorgensen and Keon Adams. The wide receivers, Stenzel, Dunlap, Carter, and Baster. Oh, a low one. Rory Swanson picks it up, and he gets taken down at about the 42-yard line. So Stewartville will go back out there. Pete Cheddar still leading the charge at quarterback. Always nice to have somebody that's very comfortable in the offense, able to get people lined up in the right positions.
Yeah.
And Pete Cheddar is probably going to be doing that for the remainder of the night, I would imagine.
Yeah, we might see his cousin come in at
Morlock.
Luke
Morlock, you think?
Maybe. We'll maybe see.
Gotcha.
But again, some of these guys had a game last night, so you never know. They might just let the JV older guys take the snaps.
Meineke, Rich, and Bly on the far side, trips formation. On the near side is Hayden Petrick all alone. Now he's going to bring Marshall Dick out here, so it's going to be an empty backfield for Cheddar, 5 wide. He's asking Marshall Dick to come in motion. And Pete Cheddar's going to just run it himself. Did we see a flag get thrown?
I think we're going to have a formation there. Maybe he didn't get set for the full second.
5 guys. Is it too many guys in the backfield?
It might be.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the back.
Yeah, 5 guys in the backfield. I saw him throwing up the number 5 to his white hat.
And a lot of times that's just one of the receivers not knowing that he has to be on the line instead of a step off.
And so the call coming in here now at 1st down and 15, we'll say. Marshall Dick still at the superback position. Brock Bly at H-back. Got a wide receiver each way. They're going to hand that one off to Marshall Dick, going to the right side, off tackle. He's made a couple good moves, and he does another one there. And we have another flag in the backfield. Usually where that's thrown is going to be holding. And we're going in the wrong direction. Bram Rader coming out of the field.
10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Still first down.
Bram Rader and Deacon Rich come back in as we see a lot of guys getting time on the field.
Marshall Dick does a good job of keeping his legs churning. We brought up the Good Morning Football thing with, what did Coach Hoth call it?
Force pairs?
Force pairs.
Force pairs.
Yeah. He's using the earth as often as he can. We kind of highlighted one of his runs earlier where he was jump cutting. But really on that last one, it was just his. You could just kind of see his legs continuing to churn as he got the yards he could, despite the hold that was behind him at that point.
I sent Mr. Hoth that time on the timestamp for the game where it was the Simon Emanuel touchdown where I was just yelling force pairs got him in. Rolls to the right, throws it to Brock Bly. Brock Bly is going to get to the sideline. He's going to try to cut it back. Another flag on the far sideline. We'll see what that one is. 2 Austin guys ran into each other, it looked like. And we'll see is that 3 straight plays with a penalty?
I think it is.
Personal foul. Blindside block against the offense. 15 yards. Still first down.
Holy cow. Another 15 yards. That one was a blindside block if you didn't see the preliminary indication. Blindside block, as you and I have talked about, you have to lead with your hands if you're coming back. You cannot drop the shoulder. Just a player safety point of emphasis.
Yeah, something that has changed since I was.
Oh, yeah. I used to do that all the time. I'd lower my head and everything.
Just come in and we used to call it the crack block, where you just come in and it was not a safe play.
Trips to the near side. They're going to hand that one off to Marshall Dick on a stretch play. This side, Brock Bly's Oh, Marshall Dick still on his feet, and he steps out right there. I mean, we had Brock Bly out on the edge blocking, but Austin did such a good job of flowing with it. I believe Lucas Jorgensen was on the tackle. Boverhouse was over there as well from his safety spot. It seems like those safeties are doing a much better job from Austin on coming up and filling when they see that stretch play. That's what you need. You need the defensive backs to set the edge, hoping the running backs will cut back and fill right into your safeties coming downhill. They're yelling for somebody. I don't even have them on the roster, 93. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
Another flag, as we're going to set the record for most consecutive flags thrown in one series. I don't know. He looks like he's going to walk. Personal foul. Face mask. So now favorable for Stewartville as we get some of those yards back.
Puts it into a manageable distance here. I don't even know what down it is. We've had
second and 10, I think.
Second down. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we've ran 17 plays and we're on second down. Second down and 9, 5:43 to go in the third quarter. Appreciate y'all staying awake with us here on a school night. So checking into the game, Braden Yaw, 93. That's who they were yelling for. He's on the far side with Jackson Blease. On the near side, 82. That's Peyton Rowe. Marshall Dick in the backfield. Brock Bly at the H-back position. We'll see if they continue to hand it off. No, Cheddar's going to throw this one. He throws it across the middle to Brock Bly, who is on an in route from that right H-back position. And now third down and 9. Sorry, Coach. I always feel like I'm getting in your way. Once I watched that video from last week, I realized how much I stand in your way. We just need – the thing is I was thinking, we can't even get a bigger window. We're almost wall-to-wall here.
We are, yeah.
I mean, like, I guess you could put something here. When we win the lottery, maybe. Actually, I'll probably be in Mexico or something. An all-inclusive resort.
You'll be watching.
Yeah, I'll watch you to be doing it. Yes. This guy doesn't even know how to run the video camera. No. Fakes the handoff. He rolls this way. Brock Bly sits down on a hitch, and he's going to get across the first down marker and almost down to the 40. Great job there, just knowing your awareness on the field and getting upfield. And Bly is down on the sideline. I don't know what happened there. It's always hard to see when the players are in front of him.
Yeah.
At least he's off the field of play, though. Surprised they don't move him a little bit further away.
Well, nice play fake there by Cheddar. Kind of booting out of there and then just taking his time and throwing a great pass to Bly. Brock did the rest. Just getting upfield and getting as many yards as he could, picking up a first down.
So Deacon Rich to the far side. Hayden Petrick to the near side. Marshall Dick next to Cheddar. He sends Petrick in motion. He's going to fake that. He comes back to Marshall Dick, who likes to cut it back middle, and he has made a few guys miss tonight. He's very shifty with his hips.
Yeah, he's got good feet for sure.
He almost looks like a slalom skier, the way that he's able to kick those hips out, and now he's limping off the side. And Rory Swanson will come back on as the sophomores rotate. So Swanson, Petrick, Rich, Cooper Fay, and Braden Yaw are out there taking the play in. Front line, Queasley, Kinnitz, Braden Mills, and Ryan Erie. Second down and 2. I'd imagine this is going to be a handoff to Swanson. It is. Inside left tackle. He just runs with a full head of steam, gets down to the 26-yard line, and that's plenty for a first down.
Nice little counter play using a pulling guard and the inside bunch H-back leading the way there. One of Stewartville's staples.
I miss Parker Tesh at center. I was having a heck of a time trying to see his number. That's who fills out that big cat lineup. Blease on the near side, Deacon Rich on the far side. I would imagine they're going to continue to push it on the ground. 4 minutes to go. That handoff is to number 53. Oh, my goodness. Full head of steam, 53. I don't even have him on my roster either. How many times have you seen 53 run it from the backfield?
I haven't, but he accelerated and looked pretty explosive out of that spot.
Nathan Stenzel, is that who he said? Oh, he's talking Lathan Stenzel is the guy who made the tackle. So even Gary doesn't have his number, 53. It could be Owen Sickink for all we know. And another carry I love how they're yelling at us. Been up here 11 years. They still don't know that we don't run the
Yeah.
microphone, the overhead. Just like, remember that year we got yelled at for the music?
Yes. Yeah.
It's always something, Coach. Always something. Aiden Oswald.
That's who it is. I was going to say it looks like the
Big
way
shout
he
out to
runs.
Jason
Yeah.
Ferry. Appreciate you, buddy.
Rocking 53 tonight.
There's a counterplay. 38. Owen Seipel. You know you're getting a lot of players in there when you're running out of roster here.
That's true.
Appreciate everybody texting us. I mean, that's how we found out about the audio problems there on the first drive. That's how we're keeping up to date on some of these younger guys with atypical numbers that aren't on the roster. It's a team effort here in Tiger Nation. Handoff there to Landon Scanlon, showing those Scanlon wheels, trying to get to the edge. Does he get to the marker? It was 2nd down and 12, and he was close. I wish Slim should have like, he should wave at us or something if it was a first down. He should have a little hand signal.
Yeah.
How many years do you think Slim Elton's been doing chains? Quite a while. Was he a chain guy when you were playing?
Yeah. I want to say that a lot of that crew has been doing it for over 40 years, I believe.
So Seipel in the backfield, right behind Cheddar. Trips left. Rich to the right all alone. They're going to hand that one off to Seipel as he's going to try to run off the right guard. He gets down to about the 1 or 2 yard line as Stewartville's knocking on the door, and late flag comes out. And we'll see which team this one's on. Looks like Deacon Rich is walking back, so after the play, it was a personal foul. It's going to move us back 15 yards. They said the down counts, so now is it 3rd down? I thought that was 2nd down, but I could be mistaken. 2nd down now, it says. Nope, it is 3rd down. They just switched it.
Yep.
2:16 to go in the 3rd quarter in what could be the longest game ever at Schaefer Field, it feels like right now. I mean, what time is it? 9:09.
Yeah. There's a lot of penalties. We're still passing the ball with incompletions. It's just the clock is stopping quite often.
Trips left, Rich to the right, similar formation. Seipel in the backfield to the left of Pete Cheddar. Cheddar's going to take the high snap. He's going to throw this one. He lofts that one to the corner. Landon Scanlon dives, but just outside the reach.
Well, pretty good route by Scanlon on a little 7 route there to the corner of the end zone. And Cheddar throws a pretty good ball, just out of reach, just over his fingertips, landing incomplete.
Do you remember the play? It was to the right end zone. It was 2 years ago now. Because I think Aiden Helder was the quarterback, but Scanlon ran a wheel route and he tripped over himself, but he was laying on his back, and Helder put it so perfect it landed as he was, for a touchdown. I just think of the effort that Landon Scanlon showed there in the end zone, and it reminded me of what Dylan did a couple of years ago. Aiden Helder, UW Eau Claire quarterback. Speaking of quarterbacks, Pete Cheddar's going to throw that one to the far side, and good coverage by number 1, Yannian. Yeah, I got to go to UW La Crosse to watch Aiden Helder. It was the day after the Byron game. I remember because my car was still filled with tears. But got to go watch him against UW La Crosse. UW La Crosse, a top 5 nationally ranked team. Helder, 3 touchdowns. Threw for 2, ran for another one. Great to see him out there. I was hoping to catch him after the game. I didn't get to see him because I was catching my nephew, who's a running back for La Crosse. And so it didn't work out. But if he's watching tonight, want to tell him that we're proud of him and just keep representing the way he is. Just throws the ball he throws. It's so beautiful.
Well, and he's so smart. He can... he understands football. He understands offensive football so well, how zones work, where to put it, who's going to be open with this look or that look. And Yeah, he's the real deal.
He's still rocking like remember he has like a bandana or some kind of like thing around his. He's still doing that. So Felton's going to throw that one wide open, but it's about 3 or 4 yards short the intended target, Isaac Mayan. He got behind our defensive backs and had a shot there.
Well, you were down there on Saturday. I think Coach Muller was down there.
Yeah, there was quite a crowd.
The Buckmeyers were down there. Yeah, the Stewartville contingent was out to see Aiden, and
I mean, just really cool. The other thing is there was I think his name is Peyton Jacks. He was a lineman for Byron.
Yes, yep.
Played. He was. I want to say he's Aiden's center right now.
Might be. Yep.
And so it's kind of cool just to see all those. I call them HVL. Like when you talk about our HVL teams, kind of see those HVL guys out there representing, because the WEAC, it's a top conference in D3. Yeah. You're talking about a conference that has like 6 nationally ranked teams. Felton tries to cut it back there. I didn't see who made the tackle. I think it was Wyatt King, 57. Could be mistaken. Saw Ridge Hats this past weekend.
Nice.
He's as big and strong looking as he's always been. Him and Lincoln Doobie.
No surprise.
Were both there at the volleyball tournament in Chaska, which our girls took home the title, baby. They're playing well. They play tomorrow night at home against Faribault.
Yep.
Winner takes on the winner of if they win tomorrow, next Wednesday they take on the winner of Byron Austin, again here at home.
Okay.
Felton's gonna look to air this one out. He's got all sorts of time. He throws it up and over the middle, but nobody's there. And then tomorrow also boys soccer.
Yeah.
Boys in Farmington.
Yeah.
Which I had said you couldn't hear because I muted it finally. But I said the last time we were in Farmington for a state quarterfinal game, it was Marshall.
Yep.
Stecker had 3 touchdown catches, playing out of his mind.
Yep.
That was Trey Lance's sophomore year, I believe.
Yep, it was.
We took out Marshall in Farmington. And so hopefully same fortune goes to the boys soccer team. If they're watching right now, we want to wish them the best of luck. Had a season for the ages, an absolute unbelievable year. And it goes to their hard work, the commitment. You talk about those 15 seniors have played together for over a decade now.
Yeah.
And this is what they've been working towards. Like the goals, when you talk about long-term goals, it's not easy to stick with those. These guys did, and they've been fantastic. We had 3 guys on All-State: Cole Crop, first team, 2 second-teamers, and Cody Clark and Matthew Waters. Brecken Rester would have had an argument.
For sure.
I mean, you talk about just, seeing Lukey Nelson had a great season. Torres is good. I mean, the list goes on and on. That soccer team has been outstanding. So big congratulations to Coach Queasley and his squad.
Absolutely.
And we will be cheering them on for sure tomorrow, hoping that they can advance. Because the semifinal, U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, no, that's
U.S. Bank Stadium.
Those guys have done such a good job, and I love watching Premier League soccer on Saturday or Sunday morning. I'll click it on, and I don't know a lot, but I just enjoy watching it. It's kind of peaceful, but when I see Cole Crop, like I've seen enough soccer, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
I know what a decent goal looks like, but the way that he just boots the ball into the net, the net does the splash back. I saw the 4 goals that he had
St. Charles
in the St. Charles
semifinal game.
And I think 3 of those were just these bomb
really
where the net's going. And then again against Luger.
Then he had 2. He scored all the goals.
3.
Oh, they called one out. That's right.
But again, all 3 of them were just these magnificent boots of the ball that just splashed the net. It just,
and the crazy thing is Cole Crop set the school record for goals in a season, as Cheddar's going to send Petrick in motion here. Gets all the way to this side of the field. 2nd and 7. Seipel's going to take that carry, and he gets taken down. But what I was saying is Cole Crop set the season school record, and then he went for like 2 or 3 games where he didn't score a goal. He had some assists. He was like obviously involved, but didn't score any goals. And then all of a sudden you get to the big games, the semifinal and the final, or the championship game in section, and he goes out and scores the 6 goals we need, essentially putting us on his back. Big players make big plays in big games, and Cole Crop, I said he has an argument to be the GOAT of boys soccer in Stewartville history. That's how good he is. What, like 26 goals or something this year? Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that was on top of last year. I think he had like 15 to 20. I mean,
and he's up for Mr. Soccer in the state of Minnesota, which
deserves
is a
it.
pretty big
Deserves
honor. Yeah, hopefully he'll pull that award in.
But just the way that they play together, the way they move the ball, the two Waters brothers in the middle, it's just been a lot of fun to watch. So we got volleyball, we have soccer, and cross country runs on Thursday. The Section 1 2A championships. Boys cross country coming off HVL champions. They took first place, a score of 44. I think they finished 6 spots in front of Kasson-Mantorville. Boys cross country, it's like their top 7 runners could be starters anywhere.
Yep, and they flip-flop who's going to finish first, second, third,
Absolutely.
fourth. And Regal plays tennis this week.
Somebody told me that on the way, and so I feel bad about the halftime show, but nobody from tennis sent that on to me. I had no idea. So definitely it was Olivia Regal, correct?
I was going to say Chloe.
Chloe was the older one,
yeah,
correct.
But Olivia plays, I think, starts tomorrow maybe, or tomorrow or Thursday.
So fourth quarter, 65-6 Stewartville. Cheddar's going to hand that one off to Seipel. And great play there by 51, Robert Lillis. It looked like he was able to rip the ball out, but I don't know if it was blown dead already. And now we will have a running clock here, so 12 minutes before. When would it stop? Just timeouts and scores?
Scores, I think. Yeah.
Timeouts and scores. And not referees tying their shoes, which is happening on the backside of the field right now. And Cheddar will likely be looking at that back judge and using every possible second he can. So just a great time to be a fan of Stewartville sports in the fall. Volleyball, cross country, soccer, football here. Yeah. Looking like, unless the most miraculous comeback of all time happens, heading to Kasson-Mantorville on Saturday to take on the Comets. Comes Cheddar rolling to the right, throws that one into the ground. That was 4th down. I'm surprised he didn't just give somebody a chance, throw it down the field, but it's going to be a turnover on downs, and Austin will come back out. And you look ahead to the winter sports season. Yeah. Got to imagine both basketball teams are probably going to be pretty solid. You got Audrey Schindelard and Danica Schindelard. The two Schindelard sisters are built different on the basketball court. You saw Jason when he came through. Lucas is going to be the same when he comes through. Yeah. But those two girls are fantastic. Audrey obviously already committed to South Dakota State, going to be a Jackrabbit. Danica is going to be right behind her. It's just which school is going to pony up the most free gear for Coach Razzle. And then I'll try to talk her into it. JC Rath, another D1 player for us. Sadie Romans, Addie Ruffridge playing at the next level.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Deep pass. Oh, great. Levi Schrank got a hand on that. Oh, he gives the old thumbs down to the sideline. Levi Schrank.
Well, the one thing that I've always been, or not always, but I will say in the last few years that I just have been super impressed with, or just kind of in amazement of, is the fact that a lot of schools, even if you take Austin as an example, our opponents tonight, because their soccer program is so dominant, sometimes their football program struggles. Like, you just kind of get that you're good at one thing. A lot of schools are good at one sport during the season. And Stewartville continually, season after season, finds themselves at the top of, baseball goes to state last year, track's doing well, and the golf team was dominant. And it's like, how are you finding so many athletes to be good at so many things? It's just something that you see season after season. And a lot of these athletes that we see tonight are doing different things, which is why it happens. But it's a lot of fun, and there's not a lot of schools that get to have so many programs that are winning programs.
That's what I tell the girls, is that when I went through high school, not a single team from our high school ever went to state. Yeah. Then you have football went 3 years in a row, won it twice in a row. You got basketball every year, seems to either girls, boys, or both have been going the last 2 or 3 years. Yep. You got your true team, track team, winning state the last 2 years in a row. It's fantastic. It's what a time to be alive. As it's 3rd down and 4, 8:37 to go. Felton's going to take that. He's going to hand that off to Adams off the side. Seipel on the tackle, it looks like. And they're going to move the chain. It's going to be first down and 10 as Stewartville's trying to get as many guys in as they can. Now you're even starting to see different jerseys on the field, Coach.
Yeah.
Different jerseys.
That looks like the track team. The track team doesn't have enough jerseys for all our guys. So we have different. Sometimes the throwers are wearing different uniforms than the rest of the squad, but we'll get there. We got a track now. That's
I just thought you didn't have any to fit Rich Hatz's massive biceps.
That's probably a fair statement as well. And I will say it's a wonderful problem to have when you have, 100 guys out for track in grades 7 through 12. It's just not the norm for schools our size.
Felton on the keeper, and he picks up about 17 as he's running through a few Tigers. And now another line change.
Line change, yeah. Sometimes this is the hardest job as a coach when you're trying to figure out who's been in, who hasn't.
Do you remember U.S. Bank last year where I think we had to actually call a timeout because we only had like 8 guys on the field. People were running on and off. Like 3 ran on, but 5 ran off.
Yeah.
And so Austin has trips to the left. Single guy to the right side. Felton's going to hand that one off to Adams, trying to go left tackle, stretch it. Oh, great play there by Braden Yaw. Tackle for loss for 93.
Hand strength to just grab the jersey, hold on, and pull him down.
He kind of looks like Caleb Bancroft in terms of his size, like tall,
Sure.
They got a lot of length from that defensive end position. Probably still a little bit raw in terms of the football abilities because I think he's only a freshman. Got clean white shoes on, though. So second down and 12 after that yaw tackle for loss. And Felton and Adams in the backfield. Felton's going to drop back to pass this one. Off the edge comes Aiden Meineke. Oh, sorry, that was James Hale. I thought it was 45 or 47, but it was 43. James Hale was coming off the edge. James Hale got all sorts of love on that first game when the guy had the JV roster, thought Vince Wellick was James Hale.
Yeah. Well, Felton stood in there with Hale coming right at him and just hung in there, and still got the ball off. He's done a nice job.
Third down and 12. 5:33 to go. Felton does a good job stepping up in the pocket. Oh, there's Braden Yaw again. Now he's flexing.
He's going to go to bed tonight wondering, why do I not play more?
Yes. 44 is super tall over here, too. We don't have 44 on ours. 44 on the near side, defensive end.
I wonder if that's not Dexter.
Oh, that would make sense. He looks
Simmons?
6'7".
Yeah.
He's going to throw it up over the middle. Oh, off the helmet. It went off Petrick's helmet, and it was up in the air for a little while. I thought Scanlon might have had a shot to go intercept that, but it's going to be a turnover on downs, and Stewartville's going to run their offense out there for the final 4 minutes and 24 seconds. Coach, this is going to feel a lot better ending the season with a winning record. We came in with it, me and you calling these games 2-2.
Yeah.
2-2. This was the tiebreaker. Thankfully, Coach Muller and his squad got it done. And we'll have to go on the road Saturday. We'll have to go on the road the rest of the time. Saturday against Kasson-Mantorville, that'll be a tough test, especially because they have a week and a half to prepare.
Yeah. They've probably been doing nothing but Stewartville film.
Absolutely.
Like you said, a week and a half. But it was a fun season to call with just every game was pretty close.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Minus this one, But seeing some new teams that we haven't had a chance to call together. So
yeah, think about that. Totino Grace, the double pass to Buckmeyer to Height, set us up. That was on 4th down. That was incredible. Ended up winning 20-14. And then we come back with Kasson-Mantorville, heartbreaker, ended our 30-game program winning streak. Got it down there with a chance to win though at the end. Just couldn't get it in. Then you talk about Simley. I thought probably might have been one of our most complete games that we've put together offensively and defensively. That or Delano last week was really, really fantastic. And then you go to Byron, week 7. That was the last game you and I called together. Arguably for me, it was the greatest, the most exciting. I would say, I hate to use the word greatest because we didn't win the game, so I don't want to say the greatest, but most exciting game, the ups and the downs, everything you want when you call a game, and it's so refreshing. And you've talked about it when we moved up to 4A. Those were the games we knew we were going to get. No longer is it the 50-0 running clocks every single week, which can get a little bit tough to call. As you're seeing here, tonight it is a little bit tougher. But man, 3 out of the 4 games were electric.
Awesome. Yeah, it was so much fun. Well,
2:23 to go.
Just before, we only have 2 minutes here as the clock ticks away, but anybody that's still out there goes back and watches this, Adam gives so much credit to the donors and I appreciate that, but I just still don't think people realize how much time Adam puts in to make the halftime show, to make the pregame show. He's doing all of this stuff on his own and still maintaining a full-time job, raising 2 wonderful girls. You do just such an awesome job, man.
I appreciate
the heck out of it. I know so many people at home do. And you talk about teaching as a thankless job, but what you're doing here for the community is so awesome. And you don't get thanked enough.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Obviously, just trying to, take the baton from Dan Simmons and all the, the work that he's done and, maybe be a little bit like Dan, how in terms of how much he did for, very little acknowledgement. And I appreciate you being up here. I know you got 3 girls at home and, taking time away from your family, but I don't just say it. It's not hyperbole. I truly believe you're the best color guy in the business. You see the game so much different, so much better than I do. Your ability to explain it to people that might not understand, like myself, just second to none. And hopefully I'll be able to lock you up for years to come because this will be the last game that we broadcast here at Schaefer Field. It's definitely fun. And in terms of raising the 2 girls, I think Crystal probably gets all the credit with that one. So we've been fortunate to have great people around us. 51 seconds to go. They're going to stop the clock. Austin's going to actually take a timeout. Yeah, it'll be a little bit different not having football games to broadcast or look forward to, but hopefully the Stewartville Tiger team can make a run. You talk about a gauntlet to get to state, though. You're taking on 2 top 3 state-ranked teams if you can do it. You got to get through Kasson-Mantorville first before you even think about what's on the other side of that.
Correct.
Kasson-Mantorville is going to be a tough test. Like you said, they've been preparing for Stewartville for a week and a half. We'll have about 3 or 4 days. Well, it's 3 days because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we play Saturday at 1 p.m. at Kasson-Mantorville. Again, on their home turf. They're used to playing on turf. We, sometimes do, sometimes don't. But I would like to think that we've played pretty well on Kasson-Mantorville's field over the years. So.
The nice thing is when you play Kasson, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get the same formation a lot. You're not going to get a whole lot of trickery. You're just going to get hard nose. We're coming at you. We're going to run these 4 to 6 great plays all game long, and then we're going to sprinkle in a few extras. But we've seen it for years, and unlike Byron that we have not played in a couple of years, we have played Kasson every year here over the last few, so there is some familiarity. Whatever just happened from
catch there by Braden Hogue.
Yes, and the Austin sideline is going crazy. I love it.
That's really cool.
Makes his entire season right there.
That's senior Braden Hogue. Did a little out route, picked up about 4 yards. Great hands, gets out of bounds. Great pass there by Felton.
And that's why they called the timeout, was to make that happen. So good job for their coaching staff to bring a little positivity to a game that probably didn't have a lot of it. Hey, Rod.
25 seconds to go. This might be the last play for Austin. We'll see if they run another play to Hogue. Here comes Braden Yaw having a heck of a night there, the freshman. We got the 2 tallest defensive ends in the entire state, it looks like. And the yes chance starts and the clock ticks away. Stewartville absolutely dominates this one. 65-6 is the final score. Austin, hats off to you guys for showing up. I know you were short on the roster a little bit undermanned, a little bit outmatched, but still came and competed. Had a backup quarterback for most of the game.
Yep.
Still played hard. Obviously, the great interception return by Isaac Mayan there in the first half got you a touchdown. But it was all Stewartville, Coach. They took their starters out early in the second quarter. JV got a lot of time in there. And everybody, I think, touched the field here at Schaefer Field in Tiger Nation. Any final thoughts on this one, Coach, before we move to Kasson-Mantorville on Saturday?
Well, just when you're a team that has the tradition that Stewartville has built over the last few years, this is kind of how you want to start your playoff run. Feeling good, everything's working, everybody gets in. And these guys will be excited to go back to the practice field tomorrow and get ready for a huge game on Saturday that I know since the loss to Kasson earlier, they've been just desperately wanting a second chance to come back and get some revenge. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to watch that game. And, it was a fun season calling games. So happy that you had me up here.
Absolutely. You're welcome as long as the wife allows you to do it. We don't want to upset her, right? So that'll do it here in Tiger Nation. Stewartville 65-6 for the best color guy in the business, Aaron Meyer. Awesome camera lady up here tonight, Natalie Peterson. I'm Adam Peterson from the Dan Simmons broadcast booth, signing off one last time from Schaefer Field. The Tigers are going to take this 65-6 and move on to face the Kasson-Mantorville Comets Saturday, 1 p.m. at KM Telecom Stadium. Hope to see you there. And that's all we got for you. Dan, if you're out there listening, I hope we made you proud.